Please go ahead.
Wasn't
Go ahead. Discuss what
wasn't
it is that you want to do, because it is the next morning, so you're
so
probably awake. I
oh,
mean,
okay.
Charles and Gerald are awake long before Harry, anyway.
So the first thing will be, I've slept really well. How are you, gentlemen? You sleep well? It's in a strange bed.
Just
Cheese dreams.
yeah, interesting dreams last night.
Oh, do tell.
Well, I don't even know where to begin. Giant fish, boated lake, white fish under the it's something strikes me as familiar about it from something someone said before, but I don't know. It seems too much of a coincidence for me.
See, I was just playing the violin in some sort of. I seemed to be competing for something, and there was that damn yellow sign, that Fellow lad in the play had on his chest on the music. Oh, too much cheese, really was.
Well, it's all to do with what we're looking into, isn't it? So it's probably just something that's playing on your mind, and
well, yeah,
it's gone into
especially after finding out about that murder at like the last minute.
Yeah,
before we went to bed.
That is quite unsettling. I don't know whether to confront the doctor about that, or whether to go along with him and then stab him in the back with Alexander's brother.
He's clearly hiding it from us, isn't he? So maybe we need to get a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we should find what we can before confronting him.
Because otherwise he might clam up and tell everybody else not to talk to us.
Or he could give us some other misleading information.
He agreed to us talking to Nurse Evans, but obviously for us to talk to the person in the cell next door,
Halliwell,
we'd need his permission, and he'd want to know why do we want to talk to him. So we probably would have to say we know about the murder. There's no other way we'd get to Halliwell, is there?
I don't know. He's in the cell next to him, so.
I did.
There's that hole in the wall.
We could go back and talk to Alexander and ignore him, and then talk to Halliwell through the hole in the wall.
We could do, but surely the hole in the wall's a good enough reason, because because by going into his cell, we can see if the hole goes all the way through into his cell, and we can ask him about. We can go on the pretense of just asking about the hole.
Yeah, have they been conversing with each other?
But he obviously doesn't want us to know about the murder, so I don't think he'll want us talking to Halliwell.
But that'll be interesting in and of itself. If he just goes, no, you can't. So I think that'll tell us quite a lot.
Nurse Evans?
Yeah.
Halliwell first or Nurse Evans?
I would go Nurse Evans, because Halliwell could queer our pitch.
Right,
and you're not necessarily likely to get anything straight out of him.
So you interview Nurse Evans, I'll be there, and I'll just stand at the back and pretend to take notes, and probably I'll just study his reactions to your questions. Try and find out why he came here, where he came from.
Yeah.
What was he doing with Alexander on those two occasions? Did he give him the pencils?
What was he up to? Where did he work before? Because I think we're quite suspicious about.
Yes,
because none of them are actually nurses.
He had come from somebody. He got references, hasn't he? So I want
but none. But
they're all a little bit.
The doctor sort of trained them up. They're not nurses, as we called them orderlies.
It's internal training.
Yeah.
For what that's worth.
It's curious that he came here a month after Alexander, so I want to know where he was before.
So he wasn't the only staff member hired at that time.
Yeah, but he was the only staff member that's been either giving him pencils or talking to him when he should be talking to him. So
that we know of.
He's like suspect number one. It's just dodgy. And
to be fair, all of the ones that came at the same time could be dodgy on the basis of let's get 3 or 4 people employed and at least one of them is going to end up being in a position to do whatever needs doing. And there's nothing to say Alexander's brother didn't plant and keep an eye on him.
That's why I want to check his references out, because if you get those details, I can get them off the doctor as well. I can give those details to the private investigator, and he can double check.
Yeah.
And then we'll find out if it's a liar.
So yeah, light breakfast of pastries and definitely sort of continental, I think.
Maybe ask him about the murder of the other orderly. Ask him about the other orderly that got killed.
Yeah.
Did anybody not like him? They've kind of put it down to Halliwell doing it, haven't they? But I don't believe that. So yeah, Evans first.
Yeah.
Right, a little after 8 then that morning.
Well, not that early.
There's a knock at the door, and Dr. Highsmith lets himself in. He's carrying a tray or pushing a trolley probably, with a pot of tea and some slices of toast and a jar of jam. He says, "I'm afraid it's a little bit meagre, but I thought I'd bring you some morning tea and toast."
I ordered the full English.
I ordered the continental.
I'll take the tea and toast. I'm happy.
I must apologise as well that I wasn't available to speak with you after you'd conducted your interview with Alexander, Dr. Bancroft. I did. I'm afraid I have a schedule to keep. But I am free this morning. I've made sure I cleared all my workload last night, so you have my full attention this morning.
Marvellous. Would we be able to talk to Nurse Evans, do you think?
To Nurse Evans? Well, if you feel it's appropriate, yes. I can arrange for Mr. Evans to come. Would you like him to visit you here in your room?
I think so. I think here's a good place. It gives a bit of privacy.
No, right.
Before Nurse Evans comes, do you just want to go through what? Or maybe after Nurse Evans comes, we'll go through what was said with Alexander.
Yes. Okay. Mr. So I believe Mr. Evans, he goes off shift about lunchtime. So if that's convenient.
How many hours does he work?
He works an 8-hour shift.
So he'll be so when he's back on tomorrow morning after he's finished it.
Yes.
No, it'd be on an evening once he's done an evening shift. If he finishes at 12.
We have 16 hours off. Well, surely.
I don't know.
12. Fuck.
We'll have a look at his rota.
12. He's been on an 8-hour shift, so he started at like 4 this morning.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, but I can't remember the chap that sat in and took the notes. So you do have the notes.
Yes, yes, of course. I have it here. Mr. Reeves typed up, transcribed his shorthand notes. I have a copy of of it right here for you. Just one moment, and
something that his notes won't have picked up is what I picked up on. So he mentioned Delia when we went into the room, so that's probably in the notes. And then he mentioned 2 names, somebody called Edwards and then somebody called Malcolm Quarry. Do any of those names mean anything to you?
I'm afraid not. I have heard Alexander mention them before, but again, as I've already mentioned.
You've heard him mention. You'd never mentioned Edwards or Malcolm Quarry to us before, I don't believe. You mentioned Delia.
Yes, Delia. Yes.
So that you don't know those names.
No.
And so I sat with him, listened to him. I think he is quite delusional, quite nonsensical, but I couldn't really dig into his mind much, because I think somebody else has got there before me. Somebody is kind of pushing his buttons or controlling him. So that's kind of the main reason. The only person I can think of is either yourself, if you've been giving him one-to-one consultations or counselling, which I don't think you have, or it's most likely one of the nurses, and we have an issue with Nurse Evans seeing him when he shouldn't be seeing him.
Well, as I say, yes, it's highly inappropriate. It's, Mr. Evans has been disciplined, and the incidents, there hasn't been a reoccurrence since. I can assure you of that. But what is your opinion, Dr. Bancroft? What is your opinion of Alexander's mental state? Would you support my my assertion that he should be released?
I'll look at Gerald and Charles, and I'll
Or would you prefer, or would you require more, or do you require more time to make draw your conclusions?
I don't think he's dangerous.
No, but not at
And
all.
I think maybe different surroundings and maybe proper one-to-one counselling and to get through his issues and his problems in a better, well, not better, but in a more suited institution or asylum, less restrictive on his being able to do things. I think
Yes. So as
very
I said,
restricted here. So yeah, I think that would be a good idea. But there are a few other issues which I'll come to later on, and but we would like to talk to Nurse Evans.
yes. Sure, if you'll give me a moment, I'll just go and fetch that transcript from my office. And
When he
disappears.
So when after he's disappeared, so I'm not going to mention the murder until we've spoken to Evans. Then we mention the murder.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
Because if he gets all uppity, he'll probably not let us do anything.
Yeah, he'll just shut everything down and stop people talking to us as well.
We'll be out on the street.
And after we leave here, we're going to the police, because they need to know that this murder is linked to the murder at Alexander's old home. The murders are too similar, and he definitely doesn't want releasing.
This guy doesn't seem to be doing a very good job.
No,
he's giving it the whole, Quarry and Edwards don't really mean anything, and he's rattled on about them to us after 20 minutes.
I think it's more of like a holding asylum. I don't think he's kind of hands-on with the patients. Not maybe so. Maybe Alexander would be better off in another institution. But I don't like this murder that's happened in the cell next door. So I don't know. The police need to know anyway. They need to look at both murders, the sets of murders.
So the door opens and Dr. Highsmith enters the room again and says, "Here we are," and he hands you a typed transcript, which I shall show to you all. So it features it features only Alexander's responses.
Oh, Christ.
Is there any way of blowing it up? I've zoomed. I've sort of made screens as big as I can. It's difficult to. You can't zoom in, can you?
Is there a text version of it? There isn't a text version of it.
Delia, being locked in this room is inconvenient. It means I cannot finish my work, and so I cannot go where I would like to go. You know, few writers have the ability to write honestly. Truths are used for entertainment only, and
That is a strange concept. In fact, I've got most of this written down. Early graces.
I can
What is
see
a
it.
big part?
yeah,
You can pop it out. If you pop it out, you might be able to. Make it a bit.
I've done that. I've made it as big as I can, but yeah, it's.
Where did you get to?
It barely grasps what is of importance.
It barely grazes what is of import. Such a writer is like a man whose only concern is to hide his ignorance, willful misrepresentation. That's the word.
Three of us.
A shut mind, closed eyes, a tight mouth, and
Bald
bald
fist.
fists. It's not enough to have the ability. Bring your intellect to bear like a light in the darkness, like a sane man in a world of madmen. Have you seen the pallid mask? Have you been down by the lake and seen the beauty and felt the rightness of it all? Edward said to work only with him. Are you with Quarry? Why? Oh, right. Edward said only to work with him. Are you with Quarry? Why are they not here? Is it this year, once in 5,000 years, has Quarry brought the king in yellow? Is he really amongst us? Have you seen the yellow sign? What Edwards and I are doing now? I can't read that.
No one. Bars no one.
Could be. But I have been worrying about Malcolm Quarry and the conversation we had. I think that despite what Edwards might think, Quarry is right. The king in yellow has called himself the White Acolyte. I don't think he will stay away, so here is a kindness I would like you to pass on to him for when he sees that the king does not offer him what he hopes. To divert the king's attention away from our earth and back upon the dream city, he must think of
Casilda's song.
Casilda's song. So that's the song in the plays, isn't it? The music. The stars that burn, their charcoal death, shrink back. They feel the hoary breath of he who.
Renown.
I can't read it. It's funny. Great Carcosa. He flees where queen and prophet met, where twin suns fall but never set. Escapes the tomb of lost Caracosa.
So he told us this anyway. This is what he said to us in the cell anyway.
Yeah,
same thing anyway. Yeah.
You know, the guy that was he wrote it all down. The bit that gets me is this second paragraph.
Yeah. Are you with Quarry? Edward
before that, Edward said to work only with him.
Yeah.
Are you with Quarry? So that I think Edwards.
So these two
he's the one. Edwards is maybe the guy that's. I got an inkling that somebody's controlling him or is pushing his buttons. So maybe that's Edwards, isn't it? And Quarry, I don't know.
But then
He
again,
did have a falling out with some of his occulty mates, didn't he? So maybe Quarry's one of the
But
ones
then
he
again,
fell out with.
I think that despite what Edwards might think, Quarry is right.
So what do you make of this then, Dr. Bancroft? I'm afraid it doesn't. It doesn't make. I can't make much sense of it. It's not really much help to me. The only thing that really stands out, but which I believe I've mentioned already, is that the name Delia. I believe that is referring to Delia Hartston, which I've already, which was a female acquaintance of Ruby's, which I believe I've already mentioned.
It's partly why we want to talk to Nurse Evans. I want to. I'd like to talk to somebody that's been talking to Alexander.
Well, I can understand why that might be important. Yes, as I say, my own from my own personal interview with Edwards didn't reveal anything that I was concerned about. But again, as I say, I think sometimes a third party can bring some things to light that I might not have been able to. So being closer to the case, as you might say. So you would, but Dr. Bancroft, you would agree with my opinion that Alexander is fit to be released at least into respite care.
I think it could be considered. Yes.
I certainly think it's unfortunately, as it stands, unless you're able to sway Graham Roby's opinion on the matter. It does unfortunately, that they will refuse to take guardianship of Alexander. So it might be. So if that's the case, and I'm successful in having Alexander released, then he will have to reside in some in a private care home. Hopefully, his inheritance will afford him a decent level of care.
Well, we were able to talk to his brother, so maybe we can go, when we go back to London, we have another talk with him. And we do still want to talk to Dr. Trollope as well, obviously.
Yes. I think that would be, as I say, we still need to, if we can get some more detailed background on, on Alexander's background and his personal life. I'm sure Dr. Trollope will hopefully be able to provide some enlightening information.
Yeah, it's definitely will be a port of call when we head back for London.
Indeed, I shall. I hope I can rely on you to keep me updated, of course.
Yes, of course.
Well, is there anything further I can help you with this morning? I will. If not, then I shall be writing up my own report. Start my own report in the office. So.
Well, we'll come and talk to you after we've talked to Nurse Evans.
The nurse.
Very well, and thank you again, Dr. Bancroft. Your assistance is greatly valued.
I agree.
Right. He wishes you all a good morning and leaves to go to his office, which is just it's downstairs.
So where are we interviewing? In our room or one of our rooms?
So it's a while yet before. So he said he'd send him up when he finished his shift.
One of our cells.
Yeah.
Have you got whose room is it going to be? Does it matter?
No.
Well, you're all in the same room, I think.
We're in the same room anyway, aren't we?
Yeah.
Shared cell. Wow.
I thought we got separate rooms.
No.
Well, it's up to you. You could have separate rooms. There are guest quarters, so it's up to you.
Oh, right. There wasn't bars on the window. That was the only thing I seem to
No, there's no bars on the window of the administration building.
So have we got can we all maybe Toba sit at a desk and he's got a chair to sit in, and then I'll walk around intimidating from behind. Maybe
Doing
walk
bad
to the
cop.
door so he can't leave. Or maybe Charles should block him if he tries to leave.
Yeah. My ballet will stop him.
Yeah, I don't fancy trying to stop him. Nice, 9 hit points. But it's not going to come. It's not going to come to fisticuffs.
It's not going to come to that. It's got shotguns.
Yeah, come to the room and we're all there with shotguns.
Yeah.
Pump action. Let's take him hunting.
Yeah. Hunting accident.
I'm saying all sorts of things can happen when people are out hunting.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll just while away the morning until luncheon.
Just
Okay.
Do you think there's any mileage in showing Evans a copy of the yellow sign? Seeing as that seems to be popping up.
That's what I was gonna do. That was gonna be the final thing. I don't want to see his reaction.
What do you think of that, mate?
Have you seen this before?
And Halliwell as well. If we can,
the main thing is ask him about the 3 names: Delia, Edwards, Quarry, and I will watch him like a hawk for any reaction, any telltale signs that he's heard the names before. And we want to know what he was talking to Alexander about. Why was he taking time to see him, talk to him when he wasn't on duty?
Otherwise, I mean, we could take a constitutional round the grounds, see if there's anything interesting there while we while away the time. Make ourselves look intellectual.
Depending on what you ask him and what his reactions are, I'll be scribbling away. I'll probably be doodling, but I've got a few things I might write down to show him to get a reaction. So I don't think there's anything we can do, is there? We can't see Halliwell. We don't want to see him. No, we need to talk to Evans.
Go on.
We'll
Evans first.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you just going to hang around? Should we just pass the cut to when Evans comes to see you then?
Yeah.
Okay. Very well. So around about, let me just close that. Around about midday, maybe about 12:30. There's a knock at the door.
Hello.
Enter.
Right, the door. So the door opens. It's tentatively opened, and you see Nurse Evans kind of peers through the gap in the door. He says, "Dr. Highsmith said you wanted to speak to me."
I'll stand up and I'll go and shake his hand.
What's he look like? Have you got a thing of him?
Yes, I've got a thing of him. One moment. Where are we?
Does it look like a nurse?
Evans. He's dressed like a nurse.
It's a glorified orderly.
Oh, well, I can't see that. There you go.
Okay. It doesn't look particularly brutish or weaselly.
No.
Which is your 2 options normally.
Excuse me.
Doctor that looks weird.
You don't fall into the brutish or Weasley category, I see, Mr. Evans.
You're innocent. Next.
So,
I'll stand up, go and shake his hand and go, thank you very much for making time to see us. Nurse Evans after working a really long shift already. It's much appreciated. Come in and take a seat. Cup of tea?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? Is this going to take long?
No, it'll just take a few moments of your time. It's only it's just a matter of course. We'd just like to ask you some questions. You know, you seem like
Do you mind if I ask what this is regarding?
Well, I mean, we'll get to that if we can. I mean, it's just about you obviously know we're here about Alexander
And whether he's fit to be.
No.
Well, we're here to.
I mean, obviously you're here to
talk
see
to,
some. I presume you're here to see one of the patients, but no, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's Alexander. We're here to see whether he's fit to be released into, not necessarily into society, but at least into maybe a more
comfortable.
relaxed, comfortable.
Yeah, well,
comfortable.
you know, me and Alexander get on quite well. Get on pretty well. Get on pretty
Well,
well.
that's why. Yeah, we thought you were.
Yeah, that's
a
right.
good person to talk to.
Mr. Evans, just before we get on to that, how long have you worked here?
Oh, be about a couple of years now.
Oh, okay. Where did you come from before?
Oh, London.
Sugar, milk.
Oh no, I'll take it black, please.
Oh, cool. There you go. I'll sweet tooth myself. I'll put in
odds,
3 sugars.
Looks from from one of you to each. You looks from one to the next, and then sips his tea.
I'll grimace as I drink my tea that you can stand the spoon up in. Lovely.
Yeah, well, what? Back in November 20. Oh, sorry, a year ago. It says a year ago. It's almost, in fact, yeah, almost a year ago exactly. It was late November.
Where were you?
Early November.
You said
or was it October? October, November. I forget. I'm sure it's on my record.
Yeah.
Check that
I mean, so you came from.
what
What did you do in London? You said you came from London. What were you doing before this job?
Oh, I was just a labourer.
Oh, a labourer.
Yeah.
What brought you to the exciting world of?
Interesting.
Well, I heard there were some jobs going. Dr. Highsmith had been advertising for people to work at the asylum. Pay was good, free to offering to train people up. So get out the smoke.
Interesting that you come from labouring to
a bit of a change of scenery.
Well, I think you'll find that that most of the staff come from quite simple backgrounds, similar.
Yes. I mean, how have you taken
fine
to
opportunity? If I do say so myself, sir, I think I've taken to it quite well. I think of Mr. the good doctor. He appreciates my efforts.
Yeah, he did speak quite highly of you.
Yeah, quite.
Well, I like the work, sir. I like the work. I'm keen to help.
How would you say your training then went coming from being a labourer into this? I mean,
well, I wouldn't
in
know.
Only a year as well. That is quite impressive.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how to compare it. What to compare it to? I don't know what the. I only know what the training that Dr. Highsmith gave us. We know how to measure out the medicine and how to administer injection, things like that.
Is that sort of what it covered? Administering of drugs and.
Yeah. No, nothing. I mean, I'm not medically trained, obviously.
Yes.
We Dr. Highsmith makes sure that we know enough we know enough to carry out our duties. I guess that's fair.
Did he give you any training
Yeah,
on
fair
talking
enough.
to the patients,
It's
or
a
is that just
reasonable explanation from it. It's yeah. And anyway, so like we said earlier, we're here to see. We've been here to see about Alexander, to sort of help him make his way to maybe some more comfortable accommodation.
Biscuit?
And see if he's sort of fit
Oh,
for
yeah.
an upgrade.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, if that could be testament to your work, that you've done here.
If put a good word in for us, that'd be much appreciated.
Tell me about Alexander, from your personal experience.
He's a nice enough chap. One of the friendlier inmates. Someone got some wrong uns in here, sir. Some proper wrong uns.
We heard about his next door neighbour. He seems to.
Oh yeah.
Anyone come to mind?
Halliwell. Yeah. Made quite a mess of. Glad that weren't me. That's made a big old mess.
So
of
we
him.
heard about that. So tell us about this Halliwell fella.
Oh, he's a bit of a nutter. He's one of the high risk patients. Really, he's kept restrained 24/7 as far as well. He's not usually. I try and avoid. To be honest, sir, if I get drafted that duty, I usually try and pass it on to one of my colleagues. A few smokes.
Do you get many uptakers on that?
Well, like I say, I have to, offer a few smokes or a few jars down the pub, and it's not my. Gives me the creeps. That guy.
I mean, I suppose while we've gone on to Halliwell, obviously there was this murder that we found out about.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So shocking.
Yeah. I mean that no one seemed to mention this when we first turned up. It sort of came out of the blue. It seemed to be like almost like an open secret.
It's I imagine it's not really something not something you advertise. I guess. I mean we go to visit a hospital and they don't tell you how many people have carked it that day, do they?
But come on, Evans. There's a slight difference between carking it and murdered.
Well, I wouldn't know, sir. Like I say, I do my job. We the doctor. We work here under confidence, and so we're part of our terms of working here. We not to spread rumours about the place and bring the place into ill repute. So it's no we don't go lollygagging about down in the village, down the pub.
Now, again, while we're on the subject of Halliwell and the murder, what makes you? But did you witness this?
No, I didn't witness this. No, I don't think anyone. Well, I think the only person who witnessed it was the poor bugger who copped it.
So my question is how do you know it was Halliwell?
Well, there was nobody else could have done. There was nobody else there.
What? Did he have any signs or marks on him to show that he'd done it?
Well, the guy's an absolute fucking nutter, so if you mind my French.
No, please.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I say, that's I would say it's safe to say that's the general opinion of myself and the rest of the staff. So take that for what it is, for what you will.
And that's it, Mr. Evans. Is the thing is it's opinion. I believe with
it is my opinion. Yeah.
It's
take that for what you will, sir.
Well, what I take it for is did he or didn't he commit the crime?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you should speak to the police about it.
What's their thoughts?
I don't know. I'm not privy to the coming and going of the coppers.
Unfortunately, Mr. Evans, there seems to be quite a bit that you do not know.
Well, what can I say?
Bit harsh, that, you know.
I'm just an attendant here.
Just
I do
labourer.
I do my job. Well, if that's what you want to call it, sir, then that's your up to you, sir. It's
Yes. Now, anyway, I mean, we can go around in circles and we can surmise
well, it
about
seems that way.
Halliwell all day long. Yeah. But anyway,
You do have to forgive my colleague, by the way. He had too much cheese last night and had some really weird
so with
dreams.
Alexander, what's your relationship with Alexander? Would you say?
Well, like I say, I find him to be a friendly type. So, don't I know you, sir? I'm sure I've seen you before. I've seen your face on a poster, and I'm sure it.
No, that must be somebody
Yeah,
else
you're
who
that.
just has an
You're
amazing.
famous, Charles. I told you.
Charles Astor, that dancer?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Yes,
blimey!
That is quite right. That is,
What brings somebody of your an actor up here?
well,
I don't
it's
suppose I
surprising
could get
whom
your
you know.
autograph, could I, sir?
Well, maybe for a small fee.
A fee? Oh,
Come on,
I tell
Charles.
you what, you
I
supply
think
some information, and I'll do more than an autograph.
he's being very generous with his time here. I think the least he deserves is.
We could put you back
to be
up
fair,
in London, get you a show, get you a fancy meal, take you out with some of the girls.
Charles, mate. When was the last time somebody asked for your autograph?
Are you not interested? Is that?
Oh, I think let's just pause.
I don't think Andy can hear
Gerald.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't. No,
No,
I can't see him on my screen.
All right, so you might just have to refresh Voodoo.
You kind of you disappeared a while back. I bet he's not been able to hear him all the time.
I did think you're just talking straight over top of Dave.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave. You weren't on my screen, and apologies. My internet froze, and then I'd come back on, and you weren't there.
So yeah, what I was asking you was when the last time somebody asked for your autograph was, and our friend here at Nurse Evans has been very generous with his time, and it's the least you can do. You have got that stash of autographs, like, in your notebook.
Hush now.
I know you keep them
Hush now. Hush now, Gerald. I just carry my fountain pen to do a fresh one every time. Fresh is best. What would you like me to sign, Mr. Evans?
Oh,
I apologise to my dear friend Gerald here. Anyway, I often forget he's actually here.
Right, he kind of like just shrugs.
It's
all I've got is
all
I've got is that a blank report card. If you don't mind, and he just passes you. It passes you like a card.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
just like I say, it's just report card for like for filling out. They use for filling out anything of note on the shifts.
Would you like any special note on it?
Oh, that would be great, sir. Yeah, whatever you feel whatever you feel is suitable, sir.
Okay, he scribbles a note on it, and it says, to my dear labourer friend, Mr. Evans, keep up the difficult work. Try not to kill anyone. All the best, Charles.
Okay, right. He takes it back and looks at it and like kind of frowns a bit. Thank you, Mr. Astor, sir. It's
you'd like. I always like to interject a little bit of humour. You don't just want my squiggle on a piece of paper. This will bring back memories.
Yes,
it's a talking point in the pub.
Yes.
Anyway,
it certainly will be that.
If I can drag the two of you back, I'm sure Mr. Evans has got places he needs to be. If we could carry on with our little chat, if you two have quite finished. Do you want some of the biscuit, by the way? I realise it's lunchtime.
The one's more than enough.
When you said you got on quite well with Alexander.
Oh yeah, like I say, one of the more friendly ones. When at least when he's when he's communicative. Anyway, is that the word? When he's
Yeah.
when he can talk, he's
What
drugged up quite a lot.
what was he? What was it you like to talk about?
Well, I don't know, just whatever he wanted. Alexander wanted to talk about. He talked about his poetry. Seemed to fancy himself as a bit of a poet. Don't really get that myself, so I just kind of humoured him. I brought it's part of the job. Sort of a bit of giving the patients a bit of interaction where it's suitable.
Did he give you any of his poetry?
No, sir. Never gave it to. Never gave me. And never asked for it. As I say, it's not really my thing.
And did he mention any names of people to you that you remember?
No,
Like
not
colleagues of his, or
not that I recall, sir. No.
And I know there was a bit of an incident with writing equipment.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir. There were.
Did he request that of you, or did you just think that it was something that might help him out?
Well, he's like I say, seemed to like his poetry. I thought he seemed to get frustrated that he couldn't write. Sort of put down his thoughts and things. So I didn't think it had hurt. I gave him a pencil or two. That's all Mr. Roby asked for. To be honest, sir, doing small favours for the inmates, it's kind of common. It's kind of commonplace by the nurses. It's and Mr. Roby seems to be a bit of a gentleman from a good background by all accounts. So I thought do the boy a favour and maybe I might get rewarded for it.
Rewarded in what way?
A few pounds, maybe, sir. You never know. If a rich gent when he's all better, like I
Did
say.
he seem to be getting better? Would you say, or is he
I'm
still?
no like I say. I find the gentleman quite nice. I find him a nice chap, friendly when he's not doped up. When I'm not giving him a good old dose of the laudanum.
Was there any? Do you know of any sort of particular reason why there seemed to be like a pattern? So he'd be getting better, or seem to be getting better, and then he'd sort of relapse.
Well, like I say,
maybe, I don't know if it was the dark nights coming in, but
I don't know anything
seems to have
about
a
that,
history of
sir.
relapsing.
I'm no, I don't know anything about that. Well, as I said, Dr. Highsmith made sure that we all know enough to carry out our duties. I'm no doctor. I'm no alienin, whatever it is they call themselves.
What do you think of Dr. Highsmith? Other than he's obviously trained you up quite nicely. Do you think he's making progress here in actually treating Alexander, or is
again,
it somewhere
you're asking the wrong person. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like I say, I'm just a labourer from we used to work in a warehouse who's got onto a good thing, got trained up here, got a good job, got good pay, got good perks. You're asking the wrong person. I'm not. I don't know how to assess these people. All I know is that Mr. Alexander and a few other of the inmates, they're not, they're friendly types. Some of them are fucking psychos.
Fair dues. Yeah.
But but this thing, like I said, this thing with the pencils, though, so it's not an uncommon thing. People, give do favours for the inmates. It's but Dr. Highsmith, he was really good. After even though I done wrong, he prepared. So long as it didn't happen again, he was prepared to let it pass. So it's water under the bridge as far as we're concerned.
Just sort of in confidence, do you know of anybody that had done any favours for Halliwell?
Halliwell.
Not that I know of, sir. I can't imagine there'd be any point to it. There's nothing you're going to get from him apart from being cut up by all accounts.
Apparently so, yeah.
Is there anything else?
Do you know if obviously Halliwell and Alexander were next to each other, cells next to each other? Do you think did they talk to each other at all through the cell walls?
Not that I know of, sir. They won't. There's no way they'd be allowed to interact. Certain patients allow, depending on what therapy that Dr. Highsmith prescribes, then certain patients are allowed to interact with each other. Certain patients can go outside and get a bit of fresh air, but no, nobody. Harrywell, he doesn't get. Nobody has any contact with him apart from us orderlies and the nurses.
Right. Okay.
And then it's just
they wouldn't talk to each other.
Oh God, no! Nobody wants any. Like I say, you'd stay at spend as little time as possible with Harrywell. Like I say, he's the nut.
Yeah, certainly seems to be that way.
During all this conversation, I've been stood at the back writing notes.
Okay.
And now I'll stop.
Just one more thing.
No, I'll start now. Nurse Evans, I'm Dr. Bancroft.
Oh yeah. Mr. Dr. Highsmith mentioned you.
I'm an alienist, and I'm here to give an opinion on whether Alexander should be released into a less strict, secure asylum or mental facility.
Oh right.
So
do you think he will? Do you think they'll let him out?
I don't think he's dangerous.
No,
I just have
from my personal experience, I'd have to agree with you there, sir.
I just have a few queries on some of the things what have been asked. Do you know of why Alexander's here?
Not really, sir. No, we don't. Like I say, we don't. We're told what we need to know to carry out our duties.
So, in your conversations,
as I say, I know he's from what I can gather, he's a well-to-do gentleman, but
you've never inquired as to why he's here.
We're not allowed to.
And it's never come up in conversation when you've had your little chats with him.
Well, not no specifics. Like I say, from the few things, and he's the man's well spoken. So I take it that he's a well-to-do.
Well, I'll just fill you in on a little bit of information. Alexander's father and sister were brutally murdered.
Oh well, I suppose that would account for why his head's all over the place then.
Yes, I think that's partly why he's actually in this facility. He did say he was to blame to the police.
Oh, right.
But they didn't charge him. But obviously he needs help with his sanity, and that's why he's here.
Can't say he's ever mentioned it in conversation. Like I say, it's mainly all this poetry stuff he rambles on about.
Do you find it odd that the person in the cell next to him is now accused of brutally murdering an orderly in a quite a similar fashion to how Alexander's parents were killed?
I wouldn't know anything about how that how they were killed, sir.
No, you said that already, but don't you find that odd yourself?
Well, if you're saying they were killed
It's
in the
like
same way, I suppose it's odd. I don't know.
I mean, the police that investigated
I mean,
Halliwell's
they
Harrywell's murder.
say Harrywell slashed somebody up with a knife. I suppose it's not really a it's not really it's kind of a common thing. Plenty of people get knifed down in London.
It's a common thing for an inmate to get hold of a knife and slash up.
No, sir. I meant it's not an uncommon thing for people to be killed with.
And I just find it. Also find it really odd that your old trade being a labourer and then coming here to be a nurse. How did you find out about the job? How would a labourer?
There were jobs advertised down the Labour Exchange down in London.
Yeah, whatever.
You could ask Mr. Dr. Highsmith that posted the jobs. You could ask him to the validity of that.
And you travelled all the way out here to take up
yeah. Well,
a new career.
have you worked in a warehouse down in London? The wages are pretty poor.
I'm sorry, I can't say I have.
Well, sir, then no offence, sir, but then you don't really know what that experience is like. And this, I can assure you, this one is way better.
It's very admirable.
I'm most grateful to Dr. Highsmith for the opportunity he's given me.
To better yourself, yes.
Yes.
It's most admirable. Well, we did talk to Alexander yesterday, and he mentioned several names. Has he? You say he's never mentioned any names to you at all in any conversation? People that he used to know.
Not that I recall, so no.
It's funny because he was actually asking for somebody called Delia when we walked into his cell. I'm paying proper attention to his reaction when I mentioned these names.
Okay, so
Delia.
No, sir. No, sir.
I can't remember saying it. Delia Hartson. No, doesn't ring a bell.
No, sir.
And then Edwards. Somebody called Edwards.
No, sir. As I say, it's mainly poetry stuff. I mean, I suppose when he's been rambling on with his poetry and stuff, there might be I guess there could have been names in amongst all that he was.
Oh no, these he did kind of read us some of his poetry, and this wasn't the poetry though.
Oh right.
And then this is somebody's been talking to somebody called Edwards, and then a gentleman by the name of Malcolm Quarry. And you've never heard him mention.
I don't know anybody of that name, sir. Not there's certainly none of the other staff go by that name.
And just lastly, did you tell Dr. Highsmith that you were responsible for bringing the pencils in?
I admitted to it, yes, sir. To be honest, I was Dr. Highsmith pulled me up about my unscheduled visits with Alexander, and yeah, I thought it better to come clean. To be honest, sir, as I say, this job is a dream. I couldn't have hoped for a better job, and if I lost this job, I don't know what I'd do.
Out of character, Highsmith didn't know who gave him the pencils, did he? Or he told us he didn't know.
No. He told us he didn't know.
He told us he didn't know who gave him the pencils, but this guy's saying he did tell him. Okay. So while I was stood behind them when they were asking questions, I've been writing stuff. So I've got Delia Hartson written down. I've got Edwards written down, and I've got this Malcolm Quarry written down. And then beneath all that, I've drawn the yellow sign.
Okay.
And then next to Edwards, I've put question mark, and I've put Evans.
Okay.
And I'm gonna reach forward and pass him the piece of paper. I'm going to make sure he sees the names and sees that I've written them down, and I've put a question mark next to his name and the name Edwards.
Okay.
But I'm asking him, have you ever seen this symbol before? Has Alexander drawn this symbol for you? Have you seen it written down anywhere? And I'm really looking at his reaction.
Right. So, well, I guess you can. If you are you intimating that you want to make a psychology roll?
I'll do a roll for the entire thing.
Yeah. I presume so. Yeah.
If I've seen any ways lying or there's some type of psychological reaction.
So not just this one, that kind of thing. The whole kind of interview.
I mean, if there's going to be one, it's going to be this, because I'm basically saying I think he is Edwards, because I've put the names together and I've put question mark.
Okay, so he looks at this piece of paper and says, "Well, like I say, sir, I've never don't know the names." He says, that there that you've drawn though, I've seen Alexander scribble that down a few times.
Where's he scribbled it? In his books?
Yeah, he used to write on scraps of paper that he usually got confiscated. But I think he used to write in the books as well. He had some books in his room.
And did you inquire what it is, what it means?
Like I say, I just it just used to go on about poetry and stuff. I just assumed it was just some scrawling, some random scribbling. To be honest, sir.
Okay. I think that's it then. Just one more thing. Were you interviewed by the police for the?
We were all interviewed by the police, sir.
You were. Okay. Right. We'll not take up any more of your time.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Evans.
Thank you, Mr. S. I shall treasure this.
If you ever want them tickets, you know my name. You know where to come.
That's most kind of you. I'll keep an eye out. I'll sure to be cheering from the balcony next time I see you on the stage.
Thank you, sir.
Right, and he sort of tugs his forelock a little bit and leaves the room.
I'll escort him to the door and watch him walk away, so he's not stood next to the door.
Okay, he walks off and then never looks back.
So
and you see him you even see him out the window, so you see him like walking off down the road towards the village.
Oh, so he lives in the village.
Yeah, well, yeah. Dr. Highsmith says yeah. So it's just quite there's a few. None of them live in the.
Oh, they don't.
No.
Oh, right. Cool.
Some will stay. They'll stay over. Depending on the shift.
Most of them have got places in the within the village.
Or nearby, either in the village or nearby.
We forgot to do his luck when we first started.
You did. You can redo. You can check your luck again.
Because I'm probably going to end up spending it. Maximize. Look. Oh, I've only got 23 points. You're having a laugh.
You've been burning through it.
Oh.
Yeah, I failed.
See, the advantage of having no luck.
D10 increase. Let's have it. What are we going to get? Yes! 10! I got that last time. 33.
Oh,
Days.
Oh, that's so sad. That is. Oh, that's just wrong.
That is a total waste of a one.
That's all
Yeah,
types
I
of
know.
wrong.
That's it.
That's
the only time.
Sure.
For God's sake.
So, I mean, can we all do psychology rolls? Because we've all been.
I want to say I've got half decent psychology.
Or do you want us to do psychology on like separate things? My thing is probably the end bit.
Well, like I say,
Where
you can, unless there's something specific you want to focus on, you could like you could certainly do a roll to assess, to make your assessment of the interview with him, your conversation with him.
I'm just going on how generally trustworthy does he appear to be.
Okay.
Mine is for some like telltale sign, like when I showing the
Straight down the
sign
line.
and the
Trust
name.
him with my life.
Oh my god.
Likewise.
78,
None of us see anything.
33.
Oh, you just got to spend 1 point a look. You've got to spend 1 point on that, Harry.
I'm just thinking, I can't even make it a hard success, can I?
No, but you
spend all of it.
you can get a success just by.
Yeah, I'll spend 1 point then.
Okay. So yeah, it seems completely genuine.
Oh.
Still don't believe it.
It's a bit rum recruiting labourers, though.
Yeah.
They're not nurses, are they?
No,
they
not
are literally.
they're not medical nurses. No, they're just nurses by name, really.
But they're not even
thugs.
Sort of experience or anything. It's just like
they're just literally just trained up to just do daily like administration stuff, like we're administering like medication and stuff that the patients.
Yeah, but they're only like previous experiences, some heavy lifting.
Yeah.
I mean, checking his past work history is going to be like a waste of time if he's a labourer. If he was a labourer,
and even tracking him down, he's given a false name.
Should have checked his hands.
Although he's had a year to get all soft and.
Yeah, true.
Are we going to try and talk to Halliwell?
Yeah, so we're going to
talk to the doctor and see what reaction the doctor has to us.
We're going to go and spoil the doctor's day and confront him about the murder. To then be able to speak to Halliwell, but he could throw a hissy fit.
At that point, though, we come back at night and burn the place to the ground.
I like your style.
As long as there isn't any need for running away, I'm in.
There's always need for running away.
What's the weather? Did we think we might get stuck here? Was the weather pretty bad?
So the weather, the weather's bad. It's pretty bad across the entire country. But
I think we joked that we might get stuck here, didn't we?
But no, the train lines up from London to Hereford have been kept pretty clear, and in the local area, and the road from the asylum down into the village has been kept clear as well. There's not been any fresh snowfall, or certainly no blizzards since you arrived.
We forgot to mention, I think you kind of hinted at it, Gerald, about him talking to the guy next door accused of the murder.
Yeah.
But we didn't actually say about the hole in the wall.
You see, I didn't want to say anything in case he went back and talked to the doctor and queered his pitch. They know about the hole in the wall.
Well, that's another thing to have out with the doctor.
I think that's what's going on the doctor. All right.
Is that hole in the wall? Have you made that hole in the wall as one of your members of staff?
So, like I say, I will point out again though that hole in the wall, it was only like just a merest chance that you spotted it. It was tight. It was really like no more than pencil width, and it was real almost really hard to spot. It was just like sheer chance that you noticed it.
Yeah, but I still say that if we spotted it by sheer chance, and that's just on one visit, then people who were in there every day.
Yeah, there's no way he would not have seen that hole unless he just don't give a shit. Yeah. So what we're doing then? We're going to Highsmith and saying, "Oh, is there something you need to tell us that you forgot to tell us? Forgot to mention?" Is that how we're going to do it?
Oh, so
No,
anyway,
I just think we drop it into conversation.
yeah.
Or ask him about it. Let's ask him about it.
Oh, would you say some staff members of? No, let's drop Lado in it.
Yeah.
Let's say he mentioned it.
Yeah.
Not that we asked him about it, that he told us about it.
Yeah. Yeah, just drop it in.
So yeah, we'll do
So
that.
yeah, anyway, about this murder.
So yeah, we'll go and go to the doctor's office.
Okay.
So
we'll just drop in that we had a good conversation with.
Yeah, it was very helpful.
Well,
all sorts.
You say helpful, Gerald, but I don't think it's.
I don't
really,
think you were.
No, I'm not sure that he was. I was just.
No, I mean, it was a pleasant enough guy, and he speaks highly of you.
I was just dropping him in it even more by going, "Oh yeah, he was completely running his mouth off. Told us everything."
He's he has brought to light something that's a little concerning. Well, firstly, yesterday when
sorry, you've gone down to see Dr. Highsmith, I presume, or you're just like rehearsing.
No,
you're just rehearsing what you were saying to him.
We said we'd gone to the office.
All right, okay. So yeah, no worries.
So when we spoke to him yesterday, I can't remember who noticed. I think it was Gerald noticed, and maybe I noticed. There's a hole from Alexander's cell to the next door cell.
Really?
Yeah. It's not there.
Very small.
It's not there by. It's not something that you've had put in, is it? Or it's not something you know of.
No. I would have. It would have been a hole. By what? What do you mean by a hole?
A hole going all the way through from one cell to the other, and it's thinner than a pencil. I presume somebody could maybe talk through it, or maybe you would be able to hear the person on the other side. You might be able to blow through it like a whistle.
So you can see his genuine like a look of concern on his face. Well, that is concerning.
We didn't mention it to Nurse Evans, but I think we kind of forgot. But
I shall have one of the attendants go down and check on that immediately. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Yes, I can't even imagine how that could have occurred. Are you saying that's on which wall was this?
We'll tell him where it was.
It's on the adjoining wall to Halliwell's cell.
Yeah, was it near the door? That side, wasn't it?
Yeah, on the yeah.
And so you mentioning Halliwell, I presume by since you know the name, I presume the staff have been talking, have they? Going gossiping, have they?
Yes, Nurse Evans was most forthcoming with
Evans, was it?
The incident.
Well,
out of character. Shit, that's something else I forgot to ask him. You know, when we first came in, Evans was trying to get the doctor's attention, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he fobbed him off. I wanted to know what he wanted his attention for. Alex. So yes, he was most forthcoming about
a very unfortunate,
very
unfortunate incident about a year ago. Shocking affair. So,
do you know? I mentioned this to Nurse Evans. Don't you find it quite odd that in the cell next door to where the murder took place, you've got Alexander, who is partly in this institution because of what the murder that took place at his house, And to me, that the murders are very similar.
In what way?
Murdered by a knife, and
Well-
how is it possible that your patient had access to a knife?
Well, this is part of the ongoing investigation. I can assure you, it is of a matter of great concern to myself. Yes.
Did you mention it to the police about the nature of the crime involving Alexander?
No, there was no need. Alexander was not involved. Luckily, it seems he seems to have been
No. You
oblivious to.
misunderstand.
Oh,
No, Alexander is involved. Because he's in a location in both a location at home and a location here where somebody's been murdered with a knife, and we know Alexander didn't kill his mother and
oh
his
yes,
sister,
yes.
but somebody in his maybe circle of friends did, and I am wondering if somebody in his circle of friends has somehow got into this asylum and has murdered somebody else.
Well, well, the police investigation is still ongoing, but I believe the conclusion is that Harrywell was responsible, although it is a mystery. We can only assume that Harrywell got the weapon or whatever it was that they used from Nace Yates. As I say, the investigation is going. You're more than welcome to speak with the police about it. But
How long ago was the murder?
It was last November. About just a moment, and he goes through like it goes over to a filing cabinet. Yes, November 27th.
And what was the date of the murder of Alexander's father and sister? Was that November or was it
October? That were October.
I thought that was October.
Yeah, 19th, 14th and 19th. Something like that.
Yeah, that wasn't important enough to write down.
My concern with the incident was that Alexander had overheard, had been disturbed by the occurrence, but from what I can gather, Alexander was thankfully totally unaware of what had transpired.
So you don't think he's been communicating through the hole in the wall?
Well, that is something that I need to look into. As I say, I was unaware of this. But yes, that is of some concern. Yes.
Would we be able to talk to Mr. Halliwell?
Well, I failed to see how this would benefit benefits the assessment of Alexander.
Well, if he has been communicating.
Well, I'll be making a point of monitoring that and assessing that, see if that has been the case. But as I say, this happened a year ago, and in that time there have been no evidence of that. So I see no reason to draw that conclusion now.
Well, if there's a hole in the wall between.
Indeed, that needs resolving. I shall ensure that is. That is repaired immediately. That should not.
I feel it's worth us asking Mr. Halliwell if there has been any.
Well,
correspondence
as I say, sir. I mean, forgive me, Mr. Black, but for one, you may be an associate of Dr. Bancroft, but it's Dr. Bancroft's medical opinion I'm interested in. Not yours, to put too much blunt point on it. As I say, it's, I see little relevance in this, how this relates to Dr. Bancroft's assessment of Alexander's mental state with regard to his release.
Is he? How easy would it be to actually talk to this Halliwell? Or is he? Is he? I mean, he's not. Obviously, he's a psychopath. He's here for murder, isn't he?
Oh
Already.
yes.
Yeah.
He's very, incredibly violent. He's not to be trusted. Very sly and often brags about some horrific things he claims to have done. Although to be honest, my assessment is still ongoing. It's a very complicated case. I believe a lot of what he says to be untrue.
Why do you say that?
As I say, that is my assessment of his mental state. I believe much of as horrific as some of his claims are, I believe I'm not discounting them all, but I believe many of his claims are sheer fancy of the vilest kind.
With regards to your staff that live in the village, do
Some of them live in the village. Some of them come from the surrounding area and live in other villages. But a handful take rooms in down in Wobley.
do any of them lodge together? Are they all?
To be honest, I believe some do take rooms at the inn. At the Red Lion? Was it the Red Lion? I think it was the Red Lion.
I think so. Yeah. What about Evans? Does he?
I
Have
believe
a room
Evans takes a room at the Red Lion. Yes. I mean, if you really want to speak to speak to Harrywell, you can always try and persuade him, but you will have to make a decent persuasion because, as he says, he doesn't believe there's any that has any bearing on Alexander's case, on what he's asked you to do.
So obviously it does.
It's up to you. If you want to follow that route, that's up to you.
I'm not going to do a persuade roll on him because mine's terrible.
Have you got a persuade, Gerald? Have you any good at persuade?
Well, you see, my opinion is completely irrelevant. I believe. I'm pretty sure that's what
No, I'm
he said.
asking for your opinion.
Please
Maybe you
take
should. No, my persuade's shocking.
It'd have to come from Dr. Bancroft anyway.
Yeah, I've got decent boss talk, but that's
I'll just
that's
say
my skill.
I am concerned that if he has been in communication with Alexander, I'd like to know what the conversation's been. I don't want him to have poisoned his mind even more with psychotic.
Quite a bad influence.
Yeah, an extremely bad influence if that's the case. So yeah, I'll try and persuade him.
Okay, that's a reason. I would. I will let you do that. That's a reasonable approach.
Contamination from a psychopath.
Yeah.
But with that roll, probably not.
Spend that luck.
I could spend.
Yeah,
luck.
use some luck.
11 luck.
What level of success do I need? Would it do it if I spend it? If I do a normal look,
A normal success would be enough. Yeah.
Oh,
If you want to spend that 11 luck, you can.
That's what it's for.
It is.
I'll say 11's not
It's
too bad.
not to escape. Not to try and escape fortunate events.
22. No, I can't do maths. I was on.
It's 11.
Yeah, no, it's.
Oh, sorry.
Shit.
I thought you said your persuade wasn't very good.
No, it's not compared
It's
to my
it's
psychology.
it's like 600% greater than mine.
Yeah, I was going to say it's substantially better than mine.
I can't remember if we're on 33 or 32, but I'm now on 22. And it's only 1 point, so I'm on 22. Look now. Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay,
I've
so
spent-
says, well, I can see you. I can see that could be a concern. As I say, I've not in my since the incident, I've seen no evidence of an influence, but yes, by all means, Dr. Bancroft, it perhaps your independent eye might
well,
spot something that I have overlooked.
as I mentioned earlier, I do have concerns that somebody is actually influencing Alexander and controlling him, and so maybe his next door
Perhaps.
neighbour might be that bad influence. So
Well, if this
see if we can get any sense out of him.
well, let's
Did
hopefully you can put that to rest, that theory to rest, then, Doctor.
Did somebody say he's in a straitjacket?
Yeah, Evans said though he was kept in a straitjacket.
What, since the murder? Because if he was in one
So when
before
it-
the murder,
yeah,
how could he have knifed anybody?
he didn't knife anybody.
Oh, so I'll ask the doctor. So Nurse Evans told us that he's he has a straitjacket. Was he wearing one prior to the murder?
So Harrywell is when people attend him, he's straitjacketed. He's not unless he has a particularly violent episode. He isn't kept in a straitjacket. No.
And as I understand it, when the nurse that was murdered, he shouldn't have been in the cell, should he?
No, he should not.
You do seem to have a problem with your staff. Dr.
He shouldn't have been in the cell. The nurse was scheduled to be in that area, but he should not have been in that in the cell alone. Normally, when we're dealing with violent patients like Harrywell, then and it's required that an orderly is in attendance as well.
So he just shouldn't have been there at all, or he should have had an orderly.
He should have had an orderly with him.
So who was the orderly? Why was the orderly with him?
Apparently, he had gone to the toilet.
Oh.
And but unfortunately, I keep getting the bloody nurse's name. What was his name? Yates. Unfortunately, Nurse Yates was regrettably lax in his attention to his duties and his training.
Cost him his life.
It did indeed. I can a lesson hard learned by the rest of the staff. I can assure you on the plus side, they did benefit. Their sense of levels of security has benefited from the incident.
We would like an orderly or two to.
I can assure you that if you really insist on speaking to Mr. Harrywell, he will be straitjacketed before you're allowed to enter the cell.
And chained to the wall. Yeah, that's fine.
So Nurse Price will accompany you, and one of the orderlies as well.
Yeah, so
it will take. I will have to make the arrangements. So, should we say about an hour's time?
Oh, it is time to have some lunch.
Indeed,
Yeah.
I shall have some sent up to you from the kitchen.
Some soup.
Gruel. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. So I believe it's beef stew today.
Nice.
Spoiling us.
But as I say, I'm afraid. Our facilities are perhaps a little meagre. They're certainly not to the standards of the Great Western, Dr. Bancroft?
No.
Is there anything else I may assist you with at this moment in time?
Mm. The truth would be handy, but you know.
A better dice roller.
He's definitely being a bit slippery.
Of course, the meeting with Mr. Harrywell is still comes under our original agreement, Dr. Bancroft. As you can understand, as you will, I'm sure you appreciate, such a incident is extremely sensitive, and it could be very damaging if it became more widely known. I can assure you, of course, the police are dealing with the matter. But
I was really surprised not to have heard about the incident in the press.
well, as I say, so the police have been kind enough to keep the investigation low key, and regrettably, or not, as depending on how you look at it, Yates. As far as we were aware, that being able to determine Yates had no next of kin. So,
Fortunate.
due to that, yes, it's the incident has remained quite low key, thankfully.
No, we'll see to that when we get back to London.
Yeah.
But the police in Herefordshire are dealing with the case.
See, I'm not sure whether he's bent or just inept.
Both. Did he say that? No, it wasn't him, was it? It was some of the other members of staff. Did they say, or they didn't know? Was a knife found?
No, I don't believe so.
Well, they didn't find one.
Let me just check.
I mean, that's sus straight away, isn't it? That's another thing that links it to Alexander, because there was no weapon found.
Oh no, I tell a lie. There were there were weapons found. 2 kitchen knives were found in Harrywell's cell.
So how's he got a kitchen knife? He don't leave his cell. He don't.
No. But
So
the orderly was in his cell.
So,
yeah.
Orderly walking around with 2 kitchen
So
knives.
yeah, it's assumed that's the only conclusion that's
one of those little favours.
Self-defense. Some protection in case an inmate turns on you. They'll take knife off of you and stab you with it. Not just one, 2.
Yeah, 2 knives.
Oh. Was it the sister was attacked with 2 knives?
2 bladed weapons.
2 different.
Yeah, 2
different types of knives as well.
That's a link. 2 knives. Why use 2 knives? What's just wrong with one knife?
Yeah, two different ones.
Somebody that likes knives. So,
but yeah, they didn't. The report, or rather the police reports on the Roby murders, they didn't say didn't conclude that there were knives, just bladed weapons.
There must have been blood all over the place when this Harrywell was supposed to have murdered.
Yeah, well, the attendant said there were blood everywhere.
So there'd be footprints going off, and
but everything's speculation about him. Everyone said they suspect it. There were no one there, so this is.
Well, did you hear that bit about there should have been an orderly with him?
Yeah, but
with the
oddly
net-
had gone
with
to
the-
the toilet.
Yeah, oddly gone to toilet,
Yeah.
and they found 2 knives. So
Yeah.
they're just saying the sister was murdered by 2 blades, 2 different blades. So that
Yeah,
does kind of link it for me.
where have no one knows where these blades come from. No one knows how he got them.
Oh no, the kitchen knives. The police have the kitchen
Oh,
knives
right.
for this one, but they
Oh,
didn't
okay.
have
Yeah,
the
yeah.
knives from the other.
Yeah, for the other one, yeah.
But it's why do you need 2 knives to kill somebody? So yeah, we're going to go down and beat this guy up while he's in a straitjacket.
Halliwell, kick him around a bit.
Yeah,
Wait till he sees my ballet moves.
bounce him off a few walls.
Yeah. The padded.
Yeah.
I'm sure the orderly will let us. If we pay him enough, he'll do it for us.
Okay, so I presume you want to. Should we just cut to your visit to Harrywell then, shall we?
Yeah.
Interrogation. Yeah. I mean, question.
Let's see. So, oops, no, that's not there.
Make sure he's tied down in a straitjacket. I'll stand behind Gerald and Charles and ask him some questions.
Yeah.
I'm not going to slow him down much, trust me.
You can
Oh,
trip
yeah.
him up.
Enough for me to get out of the way if he goes batshit crazy. Do we have a picture of him, Phil?
Yeah, just a moment. So, are you all going in? Is Gerald and Charles going to this interview?
Yeah, heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may as well go mob-handed, don't we?
Yeah. I'm going to take it in turns beating him.
Right. Okay. So, let's drag everybody back down to the cells.
See how scary he is.
This is Lucius.
What's going on with his eyes?
Just like scars and stuff like self harming.
This is why he's in a straitjacket.
No, it looks totally fine to me.
Yeah. And to be fair, I'm surprised they haven't hired him as like train him up.
Yeah, no, oddly, yeah.
Okay, so when you arrive at the cell, Harrywell is like secured in a straitjacket and is sat on the bed. His ankles are secured by manacles to the floor.
Good.
And Nurse Price stands close by, and also orderly called Clark. It says Nurse Clark, but it's an orderly. Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Harrywell. I'm Dr. Bancroft. Any response?
So Harrywell is quite. Despite his appearance, he's quite flabbily built. He's almost bald, and the remainder of his hair is close cropped and white.
He's like me.
Although, despite his this flabby sort of corpulent look to him, he looks. You can just by look at you can tell from the waist height you can tell it looks quite powerful, quite strong. And the Nurse Price and the orderly warn you, despite him being straitjacketed and manacled, not to get any closer than you already are.
Go on, Gerald. Get closer. Get close. He's hard of hearing. So, is there any response when I introduce myself?
Yes,
Does he even look up?
He grins at you, and like as he grins, he like bites deeply into his bottom lip, and like blood pours down his chin. And the orderly looks at Nurse Clark, and Nurse Price just holds his hand up and gets him to hold off for now.
Does he look at me?
He says, "You're the doctor from next door."
Yes, Dr. Bancroft. Did you hear us? Did you hear us talking yesterday?
Says, "Have you seen the yellow sign? The king is coming."
The king?
Who's the king?
The king in white, the king in yellow, the king on the horse.
Has Alexander told you this? Does Alexander talk to you through the wall?
Kind of looks around, and then it starts twitch a little bit, and it's like, We're here.
Yes, we're here.
His tears start rolling down his face. We're here again.
Who's here again?
Right, you see, it's like sort of stares, like his head snaps forward and like stares at you. Says, "You're the doctor. You're the doctor."
I'm a doctor. Do you mean Dr. Highsmith?
No. No.
Do people talk to you?
Always talking. You're always talking. They're in my head.
Does Nurse Evans talk to you? Does he talk to you through the wall?
There's always in the walls. There's rats in the walls.
Yeah, he's totally of sound mind. I think he should be released.
He shouldn't even be in here. Just get him out.
I mean, right. Anybody else?
Mr. Halliwell, what do you know about the king in yellow?
Kywin, the king in yellow, sits on a throne. Says, "I'm the king. I'm the king. You're the king."
The king in white?
I am the teacher.
Did you kill that orderly?
Right, he looks at you. His like eyes just like widen up, like almost like popping out his head, and he's just no, don't speak of that. Don't speak of that. The devil.
What did you?
The devil will come for me.
What did you see?
The devil. He rained blood down upon me.
Does the devil talk to you through the wall?
He talks to me. He comes and taunts me. The devil. No, I cannot talk about it.
The devil isn't here now. You can talk to us.
His hands were blades. He slashed himself and then the other. 1, 2, 1, 2. But only
His
he
hands
fell.
were blades.
Only the other fell. He laughed. The devil laughed. And then did that thing, that terrible thing.
What terrible
And
thing?
he just bites his entire bottom lip off.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
Nurse Price and Nurse Clark just like, well, the orderly Clark just like restrains him, and Nurse Price he comes over and just injects him.
Probably should maybe fit some kind of brace so he can't bite himself like
He's
that.
never done that before. It's a self-harm, but he's never done that before. But as you can see, he had a lip. He says, I think this interview's over, Dr. Bancroft, for now.
Did you say Nurse Price is there?
Yeah. So Nurse Price
Are they both? I just wanted to ask about the hole in the wall before they shove us out. But
So Nurse Price comes out after he kind
Is the hole in the wall bigger on this side
No,
than it is on the other?
no.
Exactly the same.
Well, maybe slightly bigger on this side.
I'm just wondering which side it's been drilled from.
I mean, how
So it just
thick's
looks.
the wall going to be?
So
It's gonna
maybe
be quite thick.
Yeah,
quite thick, isn't it?
probably about a foot, at least a foot thick. But
So
yeah,
it's
I
got
mean,
to
just
be
glancing,
drilled.
you can see it's maybe, not immediately noticeable, but you can see it when you look. You know to look for it, so you can see, and it just at a glance, just without close inspection, without actually going up to it and looking into it, it just looks like a chip, a chunk out of the plaster.
Ugh. I mean,
Can I take a closer look at it
You can,
and see if does it look like it's been sort of gradually dug out
yeah.
with like somebody doing that with a pencil, or does
Well,
it
you
look
don't know.
like it's been drilled
It's been, yeah. It looks like it's been done over time.
with a spoon?
so he said hands for blades, didn't he?
It did.
Yeah.
Devil, the devil.
Cut himself and then the other one,
And then did the thing,
and then
Whatever
did the
that-
thing, whatever the thing.
the murder.
So Nurse Price escorts you.
You'd have thought,
back
being
to
a
the
psychopath
administration building.
murderer, he'd have just been like, "Whoa," watching somebody else.
Well,
Well,
like Dr. Highsmith says, he doesn't think that he really is.
It's a liar, isn't it? Can I do a psychology roll?
Yeah.
He's scared, isn't he, of the devil? He seemed to be scared, intimidated.
You could do a psychology roll if you want. What is it you're trying to assess?
That. I mean, I know he's. How you were saying it.
If he's
it seemed that
scared.
He's scared of the devil, isn't he?
Right. Yeah, you can make a psychology roll if you want.
Intimidated. Fail it again. Fucking hell. He's not scared.
He's fine.
No, he's scared of an imaginary. He's lying. And of an imaginary thing. Reckon may suspect the doctor. It's just all. It's very odd.
The thing is, the doctor knows, and he's got these orderlies in here. The reason why the labourers is because they're just surely muscle, aren't they? Yes, they can do a few things, but they're just muscle, and they're not smart enough. They're not smart enough and educated enough for nurses to really question it. They don't really know what's going on either.
They're getting paid quite well compared to what they used to.
Yeah,
and they wouldn't be able to get a similar job elsewhere. So it's it's in their interest to keep their mouths shut.
What's the doctor to benefit by having Alexander removed and taken somewhere else? Because he won't get paid, will he? So So what's the point?
You would have thought he'd want him to stay.
He wanted to stay forever.
Is it because I don't know? Has he been there? They don't want him there because Alexander is not linked to this what's going off. He's found out that Alexander was suspected of killing a murder, weren't he? really. You know, as he found out that Alexander is nothing to do with the murder and not really involved in it anyway, so he's like, right, I've done what I need to do. I can't get any information out of him. He don't really play any part with this. Let's get him in. Helliwell I keep here, but does he know that Helliwell? I think he knows that Helliwell didn't kill the orderly, that something's going off, and he knows that he thinks he's saying Helliwell's insane. I think he knows he's not insane.
They're not linked though, are they? Alexander and
No,
is it Halliwell or
No.
Harrywell?
Harrywell.
Halliwell.
oh,
Harrywell.
I don't think.
Halliwell.
No, they're not linked, are they? Because the psycho guy's been here for years and years, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, is the psycho? Yeah, but is the psycho guy his first step into this? Is this his entrance into it? Has he got stuff? Has he heard about these? Does he know about the king in yellow? Does he know about the symbol? Does he know about the king in white? And
he's either been over
Halliwell.
here. He's either been overhearing somebody has been talking to Alexander. Somebody's controlling Alexander, but
yeah.
Has he overheard the conversation with this person controlling Alexander, or has Alexander been talking to him through the hole in the wall? Because in that what's just said then, he said something about a teacher, didn't he?
Mm.
I can't remember what the terminology was, but it's something about the teacher. So is Alexander the teacher?
You can make an intelligence idea roll if you want to see if you can remember his exact words.
I just remember teacher being mentioned. Let's fail this. I failed the other roll.
I'll see if I can remember.
Yeah. I can remember.
I can.
It wasn't that. He said what he said.
I am the teacher.
Oh, I'm the teacher.
I am the teacher. So has he been?
But yeah, that doesn't mean he is the teacher. He might be repeating
what he's heard. Yeah,
the teacher saying, "I am the teacher."
Yeah,
that's no clearer.
Is it worth going to police and speaking to them?
Can't be asked. You would just get fobbed off.
They're not going to tell us anything, though, really.
No, they don't know anything. The only thing is that they don't know about the Alexander thing, but they'll just say, "Oh, it's just coincidence," like the doctor was saying. They're not linked, but they are.
No.
Especially the two knife thing, the two blades. Now, I'm just going to tell the doctor that it could be moved on to the other place, but I'm not going to tell that to the Dr. Trollope or his brother when we go back to London. I'm going to say he needs to stay where he is, shouldn't be released, because I think something else is going on.
Okay, so Dr. Highsmith repeats says I'd be most I anticipate your receiving your full report, Dr. Bancroft. I would I still would suggest that you speak with Dr. Trollope as well first before you make any final conclusions, as I'm sure, at least I hope that his insight might throw greater light onto the situation. But I'm most pleased to hear that as your assessment stands at the moment, that you are in agreement with me.
Yes, I'll have a word with Dr. Trollope, and then I'll send you my findings or my final report, which you'll be able to use at the trial.
Will you be
It's
staying?
not a trial, is it? Court case.
Yeah. well, it's like an assessment. It's good. It's done
Yeah.
through a court. Yeah. After it's like a tribunal thing or whatever. I'm not sure the exact. But it says, and will you be staying with us this evening, or will you be be returning to London on the afternoon train?
Is it worth us staying
No.
another
Let's
night
go.
to see if anything?
Oh, something will happen if we stay. You know.
If
If we
we've,
stay, something's going to happen.
I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if us being here and asking all the questions will have stirred anything up. Somebody might do anything stupid.
Well,
Uh,
you might feel a little bit unsettled, and you might have some more dreams. That's what I'm thinking. Dreams that might become a little bit more physical. There's no need to stay another night. We've done what we need to do.
No, we're not going to get anything.
I mean, I don't think there's much point like going to the pub, and like checking up on, like some of the nurses or whatever. But
no, I was just wondering if us asking questions might lead somebody to
well,
trip up.
my Charles and myself will go back to London, Gerald, and you.
I'm
can
not
stay-
staying here on my own.
You can stay another night here.
Why not?
Oh, we haven't
Make-
gone hunting, have we? Brought
Make
these
yourself
shotguns.
comfy.
We haven't been hunting. No, I think we should head off. But if you want to stay, I'd stay another night. Is it-
Nope.
And it might be dangerous staying another night, but
What we're going to gain though if we stay another night?
I don't know. Somebody might try and kill us. And
Probably
then we'll know who it
a
is.
phobia or a mania, most likely. A
Mm.
fear of asylums. No, go back to London because we need to interview this other doctor, don't we?
Well, I'm definitely not staying here on my own.
I was thinking
So
what I wanted was to get the private investigator, to see if he could find anything out about Evans's past, but I think that's just no non-starter, really.
no, I don't. Yeah,
Not going to happen.
he might not even actually be called Evans. It's I think maybe finding a bit more out about the good doctor's history. Because I
What
reckon
about
he's a
and
wrong one.
maybe some of the labour? See if we can find some sort of, I don't know,
So
where they've come
regards,
from.
I mean, Harry would know this anyway. So, but regards the labour situation at the asylum, there's nothing out of the ordinary about that.
Right.
But it's not a proper nurse, is it? So that anybody would.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that is not unusual for an asylum, particularly asylum of this period. There'd just be of them to just employ not professionals. They don't employ professionals. They employ people for the skills that they need. So the orderlies are like strong people that that might be they'll be used to restrain patients, and the ones that are employed as nurses are just like anybody who they can train up. So it's not the makeup of the staff at the asylum is not unusual at all.
Is this Dr. Highsmith? Does he own this asylum?
He does, yes.
It's private, isn't it? There's
Yeah.
no NHS. Or
Yeah,
anything.
and like I say, you know of Dr. Highsmith's reputation, and although he's not a leading light in the field, he's not made a name for himself or anything like that. He is known to be good and good at his job, an upstanding doctor, and successful in his as far as the your peers are concerned in the field of psychology and psychoanalytics. He is successful. He has a good, reasonable cure rate. is like I said before, his asylum is on the kind of on the, not, I wouldn't say cutting edge, but it's on the, one of the newer asylums that's actually seeking to the link between the like neurological disorders and things like that, and so seeking to cure people rather than the old approach was just like to lock them up.
He needs to spend a bit more time on security and staff training.
Well, that's another thing entirely. But yeah,
Not
it's
mentioned the pencils to him, have we?
certainly
Dropping it.
certainly his reputation. Of his reputation. His reputation is a good one. Like I say, he's not made a name for himself. Not like you have. I mean, you've, like I say, with your groundbreaking paper that you published, you have made a name for yourself in the field.
I tried to drop Evans in it with the doctor by saying that he was the one that told us about Harrywell and the murder.
Quite successfully, I think.
I just want to see what happens there if he does anything about it. But we could also mention that that Evans has told us that he gave Alexander the pencils, which he denied, or which just to see the doctor's reaction, whether he knew, or whether he's lying to us, or whether Evans hadn't told the doctor that he'd given the pencils. But one of them's lying.
So what you're telling this to Dr. Highsmith?
No, I'm asking them what they think. Okay, sorry. So one of them's lying, aren't they?
I'd probably suspect the doctor.
Yeah, the doctor seems to be hiding all sorts of stuff. He's trying to cover up the murder to start with. I don't think he's been straight with us.
So that just makes him look really bad, though, because if he's making mistakes with the staff and he's not doing anything about it, he's still kept that guy on after he's messed up 2 or 3 times.
The only weird thing is why he invited us here.
Because he wants my signature on the court case thing or whatever.
Alexander's thing
to get rid of Alexander.
He wants a second. I was a second opinion for his analysis, but I don't think he's done much of an analysis on him. He's really I think he wants me to do it, but he's going to have a surprise when I don't agree with him. I'll not be on his Christmas card list.
No.
So should we, as a passing thing, should we mention the pencils, or should we just forget about it?
Well, why not? Just mention it. If we can mention it before we go, let's just.
So
we'll leave it anyway. So we've got nothing to lose.
Well, as we're leaving, are we getting a car back to the train station from the? Will he provide a car?
The doctor will provide his driver. He'll have you driven back down to the station if that's your intention.
So basically, as we've packed his stuff in the car, and as we're about to leave, I will just mention to him. Just one more thing was mentioned in the interview with Nurse Evans. He told us that he did give the pencils to Alexander. So you.
Nurse Evans assured me that wasn't the case.
Can I do a psychology roll?
Yeah, you can.
And fail it for the 3rd time in a row.
Yeah.
Fuck. Spend all my luck. Let's do this.
Hey!
He is genuinely surprised.
Right, so Evans has lied to him, but He probably would because he might lose his job.
Yeah, because he was worried.
Yeah.
He said he was worried about he didn't want to lose his job,
So
and that he also said, like it's not uncommon. Other staff members like do favors for inmates.
They'd probably be quite easily replaced as well with another.
Well, yeah, this is another
Labour.
thing. Yeah, so they're not like skilled staff. They and like
Quite
Nurse Evans says,
disposable.
they give him the basics of what they need to carry out their duties.
You did say when he came a month after Alexander came, how many other orderlies did you employ at the same time? Why did you need so many new orderlies? How many did you employ?
So just because we were a little nothing more than we were a little short staffed. We'd had some staff move on.
Some staff be murdered.
Some were
That was
relieved of duty due to unable to carry out
So
their
ha-
duties satisfactorily.
How many did you advertise for then?
I think we employed. I believe Mr. Evans was one of 4 new staff members we took on at the time.
And you didn't try for anybody local?
Well,
Seems
like I
that-
say, we do employ people that are local. So on this occasion, I was during one of my visits to London, one of the faculty meetings, and I made a point of posting an advertisement.
Okay.
Don't trust him as far as I could fling him.
no,
I don't trust anybody. I don't even trust you, Gerald.
I definitely wouldn't trust me.
is it worth speaking to Evans then, just quickly before we leave?
He's gone. Has he gone home?
Is he off shift?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be off shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could
Gone
we?
Gone to a pub.
Could we maybe find him and
Well,
just?
To be fair, we could try going to the pub and speaking to him off the record rather than.
Yeah.
We
He
could-
might be more willing to dish the dirt.
Could set off for like earlier for the train, but actually, call in at the pub before we go to the train station.
Yeah.
And what we're going to ask him? What we ask?
Well,
We've
well,
already.
we know that he's lied. Why did he lie about the pencils? What's he gained by lying about the pencils?
Hold on.
So why is he taking the rap for the pencils? Because if he's saying yes, I did it, and he's told the doctor that he's never mentioned it to the doctor. The doctor's genuinely surprised. So why has he said it?
I've totally missed it. He is a liar. He said,
but
it's
he
not
said,
about.
"Oh yeah, I told."
It's not about keeping his job, because he's
No.
no.
Why tell?
Why tell us? Yeah.
He told us he had, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I've told doctor," because really, I would say he doesn't think that we're then going to go to the doctor and go. He thinks we're going to believe him, so we'll never bring that up with the doctor. So he thinks, so if I tell him now, then it sort of puts it to bed. Whereas he's lying. So if he's lied about the pencils, who's he lying for? Who gave him the pencils then if he didn't and he's lying about it?
Well, and it's not. I just don't believe about him saying, "Oh, he used to like talking to him." What's he got in common with him?
Nothing.
Nothing in common with him, apart from the yellow sign. I
think we strong arm him. Or we ply him with booze.
Well, see how it plays out.
He knows something. He's probably more important in this than the Doctor.
So
At the very least, he might know who's actually influencing stuff.
So, shall we just go to the pub and just pretend that we were just going for a drink before we were going for the train, and then we'll buy him a few drinks and try and suss him out a bit more. Do it that way.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then take him right back up pub and beat him to death with shotguns.
We'll just hold him at gunpoint. If he lies, we take a knee. Would you blow his foot off?
Well, I presume the person that's driving the car will wait for half an hour or something. Or get him to come into the pub as well. Oh, but he can't. He's driving.
So the driver won't stay. So he'll drop you off at the pub, or he'll drop you off at the station because he's.
You'll do as you're told, man.
Although he's told with a shotgun in his neck.
You've been told to take us to the train station, but we're just calling in here for a little refreshment. We'll be 10 minutes. 15.
So it says he'll wait 10 minutes, and that's
30,
it. He's got
30,
he's due to wait
30.
10 minutes. He says he'll wait.
Gerald,
He was asked to drop you off at the train station. That's it.
Gerald, take the car keys. We're not going to do much in 10 minutes, are we?
We'll do enough.
No.
You can walk to the train station from the pub. Oh
Yeah.
no, you can't. You've got to. It's oh no, actually no. What am I talking about? There's no train station here. He has to. So it's a drive from it's to Hereford. So yeah, he's gonna drive you. He's been asked to drive you to the train station. So it's
Does he
either
want?
it's
does he
either
want
train
definitely
station
take
or he
the
drops
keys.
you off in Wibley. That's it.
Does he want paying?
They could stay at the pub tonight.
How are we going to get to Hereford?
I'm sure someone can phone us a car. Surely. Let's go to the pub. We'll sort that out later.
But that means we'll end up having to stay in the village. I presume the pub will have some rooms. There is another pub, isn't there?
There's one. There's two pubs. There's only one of them that has rooms.
And is that the one we're going to? Was it Red Lion?
Yeah, because that's where
That's where
Evans
they've got
staying.
their rooms, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, thanks for nothing, driver.
We're not paying them.
Well, actually, no. Wait 10 minutes because if he's not in the pub,
You never know.
we'll be wasting his time. So yeah, we'll go in the pub.
Yeah.
Is he actually in the pub downstairs? Do we see him?
You
when
can
we
make
walk
a
through the door?
look. One of you can make a look roll.
Who's got the highest luck?
Well, it won't be me because I've got 22.
Yeah, it's not going to be you.
What's yours, Gerald?
43.
Go on.
Have I seriously got the highest luck?
Yeah, I'm 35.
Like,
22.
Oh, that
Don't-
bodes well for the
don't-
future, doesn't it?
don't care.
seriously. Come on. Oh.
Oh,
No, he's not there.
So can I go straight over to the bar
ask
and
where
get-
he lives.
and get the attention of? He's supposed to be staying here, isn't he? That's why we come in.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they say he's,
Oh, yeah.
he came back and went out.
Maybe he
So-
prefers to drink in the other pub.
So he's got a room here, and I believe there's some other gentlemen from the
Yeah.
asylum that have got lodging here.
Are there
we
any
check his room?
spare rooms going for tonight?
You can make another look roll.
It's your shout, Gerald. It will be when you spend 3 luck.
You can't spend
Can you
luck on luck.
You can't spend
Oh,
luck
yeah.
on luck rolls.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Does
No,
the
The rooms have been
does the-
taken up because the people have been so we've got people staying and they've not been able to had trouble travelling
well,
up.
that's
So,
decided it for us. Then we need to go to the car
Yeah.
and go. Just one more question before we go for his car. Does do you know where he might go of an evening? What's he doing this village.
Not
Could
a
have
lot. He's so he says that he seems to like going out for walks on an evening. There's not much else to do.
Hmm.
And he was on his own.
Yes. So it's not
Highly
unusual.
suspicious,
Not unusual for him to go. He goes out for because came back, had something to eat, goes out for a walk, and then usually goes to usually retires to his room. It's not kind of pretty much routine.
Right. Okay. Car.
Okay.
We've not got any choice, have we? Because they've got no rooms.
No rooms. It's either that or go back to the asylum or camp out, and I ain't camping in 6 foot of snow.
Make a look roll.
No.
Dear.
Oh.
Right. So you're getting back in the car, going to the train station.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
We could
We could put the
stay
driver in the
overnight at
boot.
Hereford. We could get a hotel at Hereford and just come back, sneak back tomorrow.
Yeah, we'd probably be able to hire a car there as well, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then come back without people necessarily knowing we're knocking around.
Yeah, but
I'm not sure what that would achieve.
I don't know, because he'd probably go to work again, won't he?
Yep.
They're not going to let us go and look in his room.
No, but when he got back to the pub at like lunchtime or whatever, we could follow him if he goes for a walk, see what he gets up to. It's a bit suspicious. He's just going for a walk in 6 foot of snow.
Yeah, just a little bit. No, I think we should just go. I can't see much point in coming back. How would you follow him? He's gonna just know we're following him if we wait for him in pub.
Well, he's going to leave fairly obvious tracks, is the thought. Although
Not
us
necessarily.
clarting through 6 foot of snow ourselves probably aren't going to be subtle.
Well, we could try and track him now and go hunting. Hunt an innocent man.
Yeah. The most dangerous game.
You thought he was a deer. No, I'm for going. I think. Can't see the point.
You don't think we're going to get anything worthwhile from him if we push him?
We know he's lied, but
Or has he just lied to protect his job, though?
Yeah, but that's not protecting
no,
his
it's
job.
not. It's not protecting his job, has it? He's lied to us.
It's
telling us-
jeopardised his job.
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
It's not-
no, he originally lied to protect his job, and now he's come clean with our sharp and incisive questioning.
Yeah,
I
but
just don't. There's too many things. I just don't buy his story. That coming a month after he arrived, that's too odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my character knows somebody is controlling Alexander, and I just think it's him. Why would the doctor bring us into this if he's the one controlling Alexander? That doesn't make any sense. No.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. No, you'd want to keep us away.
Wouldn't want to get rid of him.
The other guy's a complete Fruit Loop.
But if he is the one that's controlling him, he's got access to him and to here. So would he want him released? We need to know why he wants him. Does he want to keep him here? Or does he want him to go somewhere else? Why would he want him to go
Well, at the moment, he's locked in a cell. He can't write stuff down for him without smuggling pencils in, which is risky. Whereas if he gets him outside, he can control him better and get access to what he knows.
I think we need to go because we've got those two names.
Okay, here's a bit of a Hail Mary for you, maybe, but we try and get Alexander released.
Maybe I could take him as
And
a pet project.
yeah, because if Alexander at the minute is locked up and safe-ish, but if we release him, we can then find out who's actually after him.
It's not like a full release, is it? It's into
No.
less secure.
Well, so he's not going to be released into his.
It's nicer surroundings.
Into his care,
Yeah.
either into the care of his family or into the care of a rest home.
And he should have better care, shouldn't he? Because he'll
So
not
what happens?
So basically, it won't be locked up. It'll just be,
Because that place is, to me, is more like a prison. He's not really treating them, is he?
So what happens then
yeah.
if we get him moved? We get him moved.
We get him moved. The bad guys come for him. We catch the bad guys in the act.
If we get him moved, does Evans stay there or does Evans leave?
Well, I think Evans comes breaking in the back window of wherever we move him to. Or somebody comes breaking in the back window of wherever we move him to try and kidnap him. That's what I think will happen.
See, we know he had friends, didn't he? But we know the woman,
and then had a breakup with them.
So
I reckon it's these guys that are
those two names are they part of the friends?
I suspect so. Yeah.
Because one of them he definitely sees as a friend. The Edwards character, that's the one to me he's in contact with now.
Yeah.
And then I had no idea about the other guy. I think we just lost Andy again.
Yeah, I think they've got to be part of his ex circle of friends.
So same as before, we can't really find out who Edwards is because it's just a surname. But the other one, and we've got his full name. So we might be able to track him down.
I think they're after what's in his head.
Yeah, they want him for something, don't they?
Hence, giving him the pencils to try and get him to write whatever it is down. And if we get him released, we're in control of him. And when they come to try and kidnap him, bada bing.
Yeah.
They fall into our trap. And I say that in the very literal sense of a big pit with spikes in it. I mean, that's kind of high risk for him, but it depends how you feel about that morally, putting somebody potentially in harm's way.
We could go
people with knives.
We could go back to his brother and try and persuade his brother to let him, maybe us look after him.
Yeah.
Or me look after him.
If we get him released,
or I could recommend somewhere he could go, what we can watch.
Yeah. And then it's if he's released, we think he does know who killed his family, maybe, and if we get him released, that might help lead to the truth of the matter.
I mean, we need to see that the doctor. That's one of the first things we need to do.
Sorry, my internet disappeared. And it's
if we get him released, and that will help us get to the truth of how his family got killed, and maybe catch the whole lot of evil occultists who are at the bottom of it.
So what we're going to do to get him released? Go back to Hereford?
I think just go back to London.
Or do we go back to London, talk to his brother, and persuade his brother to sign off on?
We need to see the doctor, because the doctor's he's got all Alexander's family medical records, and he's one that's been dealing with it, because his brother thinks he's dead to his brother, isn't he? Or his brother thinks he's as good as dead. Don't want what to do with him. So it's the doctor we need to talk to. But if we get on side with the doctor, maybe he would get on side or get Graham on side
Mm.
Yeah.
and do it that way.
Because yeah, we're not. Once we find out if he is involved with all these occultists who killed his family, he goes to prison. So from his brother's point of view, it might actually help establish Alexander's guilt in the matter. I mean, that's a story we can tell him anyway.
What? How long do you want to play for, Andy?
I'm all right. I'm good to go.
All right. Oh, so are we going back to London then?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
spent
Persuade his
15
brother
minutes
to let him
deciding
go.
what to do. Car's gone.
So we're going to sleep in the snow.
Okay.
Just
So
driving off. Shoot it!
so by the time you get to Hereford, you miss the train to London.
Really?
Shocker.
So you're able to get tickets on the earliest train the next day.
It's almost like he wants us to stay the night.
So there is a hotel attached near, well, not attached to the station, but as is typical with these with a lot of stations, there's a hotel that's associated with the railway that's near, sort of either across the street or next door.
Yeah.
Probably, I think it's great. I think it's Great Western. Probably, so it's still the same railway company.
Let's not go to bed and let's stay up all night drinking.
So yeah, you're able to get tickets for the next the morning train. So that'll leave about 8 the next morning. Get you into London by lunchtime, if not sooner. Probably sooner. Actually.
Okay. Well, I guess we haven't got a lot of choice, have we?
No.
We're going to die, aren't we?
Can I? So can I make a phone call to my private investigator friend before I die? And can I give him the two names?
All your notes.
Okay.
Yeah, all my notes. The two names. What I can't remember off the top of my head. McQuarrie, is it Quarry? Yeah, Malcolm Quarry. Possibly a friend of Alexander. Can you find out anything about him if it's possible? And then somebody else, another acquaintance friend, but we only know the surname as Edwards. So if he's got those names, he can be looking into it. But we're going to be back in London, aren't we? So it's pretty pointless. But we'll let him do it anyway.
Okay.
Well, at least he can get started.
Is there anything else we can tell him? I don't think we really.
Well, either of those two names might also lead to what's her name?
So when
Delia.
Yes,
Delia.
she might be. Yeah, she may be connected to those names as well.
So when you speak to him, it tells you he has made some progress. So he's able to he was able to get an address for oh God, what's her name?
Delia.
What was her second name? God damn it.
Hartson.
Yeah, so for Delia Hartson, that are in 120 Southbury Road, Ponders End in London, so a suburb about 11 miles north of London. But she no longer lives there.
Is he sure it's the right person? How did he get that? How did he find her?
Um, just through records and census records and things like that, we're able to find. He says he thinks.
So yeah,
He thinks that her mother still lives at that address, and he's going to go back and see if he can go back and question her, and see if he can get find out where she, see if she's gonna, if he can get any more information out of her.
Well, I'll jot that address down, because we're going to be busy, aren't we, trying to get hold of the doctor and Graham or whatever. The doctor was due back, wasn't he? He was only away for a few days.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. He was at a
yes,
conference.
No, so we'd probably get him when we go back.
Yeah.
No, that's good then. If he's got an address for her,
Might help with tracking these two clowns down as well.
Okay. So you get you're able to get reasonable, pretty good rooms at the station hotel. So you get a decent meal, have a few drinks, retire for the evening, and have actually have a decent night's sleep. The beds here are a luxury compared to the ones at the asylum.
I'm definitely propping a chair up behind the door.
So, Charles, you're walking along a busy street in a city. It's night, but you're in a hurry, and there are lots of other pedestrians about who are just getting in your way, slowing your progress. And also, despite your haste, every 20 yards or so, you feel compelled to stop and check your pockets, make sure that you've still got your key with you. You pull it out of an inside pocket in your jacket, and the key it's large, it's corroded, and it's old-fashioned on a really long loop of string. You look at it for a moment, and then thrust it back into your pocket. So once again, a bit later on, again you get it, you get it out and look at it, and for once you hang it over your arm like a bag, like a satchel, but you decide it's much safer in the pocket. You put it back, and but again you going along again. You're like, oh my, where's the key? Where's the key? Where's the key? And you pull his key out of your pocket to check that it's there. Just one more time. But it's not there this time. Instead of the key, you're looking at a small human-like figure, like a fetish, lying there in your hand, and it's grotesque. And now there's something else about it. It's a sweet, fetid smell on the air, like it takes a moment. It's like rotting fruit. Sweet, sickly smell. So you look up and disturbed, and the city around you is gone and is replaced by a flat landscape punctuated by mounds and hillocks and a few stunted trees. So you stand there looking around with others. There's others around you, and there's a pressure building, as though almost like as if there's a storm. You can feel a storm in the air, but you can sense water nearby as well, and a wind blows the smell of it to you. It's still dark, but you can just make out, even count 9 shapes, pagan standing stones placed around you. quality of the air suddenly changes, and then the ground beneath you, your heart feels too big for your chest. Something's coming. Then a cut off screams, and then one, then another of the people near you wink out like stars just gone. And you're alone, looking for the thing that you know is there. You sense it at the last moment as it reaches out for you, takes you and lifts you up, lying there tiny under its inspection. You can't help but look up into its eyes. You wake up in bed and you're sitting bolt upright, your heart racing. The nightmare can be recalled in every detail, and you can still smell this faint smell of rancid fruit that just permeates the entire room. And you can make a sanity roll.
It's that beef stew backfiring on you.
That's it, yeah. Sitting funny.
Rotten veg.
Why is that not rolled?
So I will give you that as a handout because you can recall every detail of it.
Somebody likes you, Charles.
Don't they? Let me just try that. Let me just refresh it because it's rolling, but then it's not rolling.
Yeah.
Or are the dreams affecting you because you're the arty farty one?
Maybe.
Oh, that is a
that
fail.
stings.
Oh my word. Oh dear. Oh,
We love a fail.
Oh,
Charles
dear.
loves a fail. Hit me. 7.
Oh, you lose 7 points of sanity.
Oh my God!
Ouch. 7 out of 40.
He didn't say any monsters or anything, but it's because it's real. It's still remember
Just the
that.
unnerving quality of it and the realness of it. And right, so, oh God, I ain't got my book. I wasn't expecting that.
We need to
Is
go
that
to Stonehenge. don't we?
Cthulhu Mythos?
So you are on your own as well. So
See you later.
actually, there's just something specific.
Charles has gone missing.
It was always highly strong.
Right. So the next morning, you find Charles. There's no answer, so you literally have to get the passkey from the desk downstairs, and you find Charles sat bolt upright on the end of his bed, staring and trembling violently. So Charles, you can still all night. All you can smell is this. You could smell is this repugnant, overwhelming stench of rotting fruit, to the point that you've been violently sick several times, all over yourself, all over the floor.
There goes our deposit.
I was going to say, do we smell the rotting fruit? But
No.
yeah, probably. Well, we smell his vomit.
Oh yeah.
So we smell regurgitated beef stew.
So yeah, you just start there, wide-eyed, just shaking.
Come on, Charles, breakfast.
Right. So when
anything.
the moment they speak, you instantly just like snap. You snap out of it, and Charles lets out this. Ah!
I told you we should have stayed up drinking.
Knew it.
You thinking about is that you've been in there, Charles? Past performances.
I just don't say anything. I'm just not even going to speak about it. I just, yeah.
Can
So
I?
At this point, you notice you're just like covered in like dried vomit.
Can
Lovely.
I somehow assess him? Presume? Can I see if he's had some type of
Psychoanalysis.
episode?
Um,
I mean, you can see he's been sick, so I know he's not
You
feeling
can-
very well.
yeah, you go on. You can make a psychoanalysis roll. It won't help, but yeah, kind of determine
Just
if it's
can say he's had some type of
episode. Yeah.
episode, and I can just slap him across the face and tell him to pull himself together.
I guess I'll. Well,
And
failed.
Can I try a medicine roll? See if there's anything. actually the
Open
matter
these
with him?
curtains. Get some fresh
You
air.
can make a medicine roll, see if there's anything medically wrong with him. Yeah, that's physically, medically wrong. Right. So, Andy, there will be, if you look in the journal tab, there will be a
Yeah.
handout. The recovery. Yeah. Of
I'm
the
not.
dream.
I'm not spending any luck. I don't think.
Yeah, dream vision got it.
He's fine. Just some hair of the dog, mate. That's all you need.
Mm.
Ooh, you were not far off being permanently insane.
I know. Oh, I know.
Does he? Has he got to roll his intelligence?
Not for that,
And-
no. Not for that, no.
Oh. Does he not get any mythos or anything
No.
harsh? Just shitloads of sanity.
Yeah.
I'm just one away from my daily limit. Mind you, I have got a bout of madness, I guess.
That was it. That was your bout.
Oh, that was my
it,
bout of
yeah,
madness. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Slept it off.
I was
There you
gonna
go.
check the table, but it had something something specific for it.
Ooh.
So there you go.
You
So
put-
this,
okay.
like I say, so this dream you can recall it perfectly.
Vividly.
Unlike the dreams that you had the other night, which have almost
Gone.
they're only vague recollections of that.
You best get another character created.
I know.
With 30 whatever sanity.
33 now.
I'll let me look after that shotgun for you.
No.
No, I insist.
I need it to clean the vomit out my throat.
Yeah. I need to get the taste out of my mouth.
Maybe best if I just look after it for you for a while. Train, London.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, after you've
Hosed him down.
clean Charles up,
And pay for the damage to the room.
giving him get a few
carpet.
constitutionals down him.
Buy a new carpet for the hotel.
You catch the morning train and head back to London. So let's see. Holiday. Okay, so it's November the 1st. Midday, just after midday, when you arrive back at Paddington Station in London.
I presume he will be able to retell us in detail
In
the
detail.
Yes, he could. Because he can recall every last detail of the dream he's had.
Does that mean anything to any of us from what we've read or the play? It was a city. Are we presuming it's this the same?
Has he been dreaming of Carcosa again?
Carcosa, yeah. What were was it some monoliths?
Standing
stones.
So
Or
are you
stone
gonna
Yeah, I will. Once I've sort of calmed down from it
Yeah,
a bit,
okay.
and yes, I will do.
So I shall make, in which case I shall make it available for everybody. Then I'll change the permissions on it.
And you felt like you were waiting for something to appear or to come.
Yeah.
Go. So it's available to everybody now in the jail tab.
Jesus.
I mean, obviously, none of us believe in this rubbish, but I think they're trying to get something to come, aren't they?
You know, let's just go for the hardest font to read.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try.
Cut off screams.
So when we get back to London, are we separating? Getting
No fear.
Getting a change of clothes,
I
then
need
meeting
to
back
clothes.
up. Yeah, nice new shirts. Can I maybe call the doctor?
Yeah, organise a meeting.
but we still have the letter of introduction. I'll phone to make sure he's there. I'll just talk to the receptionist and just
I can't
inquire if
remember.
the
Did you take the? Did you let Dr. Highsmith send them, or did you actually physically take?
we
No, we
physically
took them.
we took them when we handed one over and then we snatched it back out of the maid's hand because we were umming and ahhing whether we were going to go back and burgle him. So yeah, to phone. Was it? That was his house, though, wasn't it? Not his office.
So yeah, you got his. So you know where his house and his office is.
Well, I'll try the office to see if he's back at work. So just speaking to the receptionist, and if she confirms that, we'll just go around there with letter of introduction.
So speaking. So you phone Dr. Trollope's place of work. So you speak to the receptionist, and they tell you that that Dr. Trollope is not in the office today or tomorrow. But he is at his place of residence.
All right. So we can pop round to his house and then talk to his lovely maid again and scare her again.
So when you so what are you doing? You going round to
Should we phone ahead or should we just go?
Just go.
Just go.
Yeah, just go then.
Let's go.
Do it.
Okay. So you're coming out of your, presumably you've all gone back to Harry's place and made this phone call, and you're coming out of your house, Harry, and one of your neighbours is outside. They say good morning to you, good afternoon, good afternoon to you, and so like exchange a bit of small talk, and says ask you if you had the notice you've been away, ask you if you've if you went anywhere nice and all this kind of thing. And then says, by the way, there was somebody asking after you yesterday. It was a taxi cab driver. He was asking if you lived here.
Why would he be asking if I lived here?
I don't know. He knocked on my door and just and asked if Dr. Bancroft was if you lived at that address.
And he said he was a taxi driver.
Yes, taxi cab driver. Yes.
Did he have a uniform? What did he look like?
Tall, dark gentleman, kind of roughly spoken.
So
Wasn't really paying much attention, I'm afraid. I hope that's all right. Like I say, we're just asking if.
Doesn't I mean, it's not that. I mean, I wouldn't say he was a taxi driver, would I? I'm thinking about the private investigator, but I don't know what to make of it.
Right,
so when was this?
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yes. Would it be evening or daytime?
Daytime. So yes, so maybe late afternoon.
Certainly dodgy.
Right, there's not what I can do. So I'll go to Mrs. Smiggins' pie shop to meet them, and then we'll go to the doctor's.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So yeah, you make your way to Longacre, where Dr. Trollope's home is located, You can all make a spot hidden roll.
Oh, I don't think I've had a single successful roll.
Nope. Spider.
Quite poor. Oh my god.
Come
Any
on.
better?
Come on. Come on.
96. I fall over.
I fall over him.
I ballet dance it over you and spot it.
So Charles, you spot something catches your eye,
Dusty.
and you see a man, tall, dark-haired man in a kind of scruffy-looking dark coat. You could have sworn he seems to be following you, but as soon as you clock him, he just like slips off into an alleyway. As you go to tell the others, Harry like turns and slips on a patch of ice and goes sprawling across the pavement, and you can take a point of damage.
Thanks for that, Charles. Thanks.
And Gerald, Gerald following too close behind, trips up, goes skidding across the ice as well. Although he's not.
Does he cushion my fall?
He does, yeah. You land on top of him.
So, Charles, what was that in aid of?
Cheers, Harry.
Sorry, I saw somebody across the street. Black hat.
Look, there's somebody across there as well. What do you mean?
We need to go.
So, I would have mentioned that I had somebody come to my house asking for me, which in itself,
Well,
not,
sorry, go on.
not strange, is it? But
No.
but a taxi coming, somebody saying there were
Yeah.
taxi coming to my house, which I'd not obviously called for. So what are you saying, that you thought somebody was following us, or you not?
I think somebody was following us.
So you said he was tall, dark, that kind of
Black
matters.
Yeah.
Well, it's a similar description to what my next door neighbour mentioned about the taxi driver.
Just like that.
Has he gone down an alleyway, did you say?
Yes. As you fell over, I saw him. He's run down that alley over there.
We'll cross over maybe and see if he's hanging around still.
I guess, although I suspect after we've picked ourselves up, he'll be long gone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Gerald's no mover and shaker, is he? So probably.
And I'm probably limping now.
Yeah.
Although he is probably going to be back if he's been hanging around. We might be better off not showing any signs of having.
Well, so he legged it because he saw Charles clock him.
Let's just carry on then. We'll keep a lookout there to see if
Okay,
he's
so
following
you're
us.
literally just pretty much just a couple of doors down from Dr. Trollope's house. So go up the steps and ring the bell, and after a few moments, the door is opened by a lady you take to be Dr. Trollope's housekeeper.
So this is the lady we met before.
Yes. Oh yes, I've got you missed that before, yeah.
Good morning, dear. It's Dr. Bancroft.
I mentioned to Dr. Trollope that you'd called on him.
Would it be possible to see him? And I'll give her the letter of introduction. If you could give that to him.
One moment then, please, sir. And she closes the door.
How rude.
Freezing as well. So you stand there about 5 minutes, and then the doors opened by the maid again. Says, yes, come in, please. Dr. Trollope will see you. You'd just like to follow me through to the drawing room.
That's a bit easy. I didn't think he was going to want to see us.
Yeah.
So she shows you through to a large drawing room with high ceiling and comfortable with blue settees and a deep green Persian rug. There's several objets d'art in evidence. A white ivory tusk carved with the colonization of the African continent in a circular procession of figures carved around its length. A brass polar bear lazing on a crystal ice floe, Georgian China ladies and gentlemen playing billiards, and a fine Stubbs painting of an English Springer Spaniel.
Hmm.
This
Is there that one of like the dogs playing cards?
So the housekeeper, if you just care to take a seat, can I get you a cup of tea, perhaps, gentlemen?
Oh yes, please.
Well, I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Possibly
The
some
doc,
biscuits.
of course, of course. The doctor should be with you shortly. So she bustles off, and literally just what, a minute or so later, um, who you presume is the doctor, enters the room.
Oh, it didn't take him half an hour to read the letter of introduction like it did Graham.
No, no, Graham just made you were making you wait.
I don't like the way that you use the word the person that we presume to be the doctor.
Hmm.
I can't find the description now. Where are we? There we are. Okay, so I've got a picture of him. What am I talking about? I should have a picture of him. Where is he? Oh, it's there. Wrong folder. Yes, so Dr. Trollope has iron grey hair, true, well, does have a moustache, so we'll cut that from the description, and a pair of
He's had a shave.
spectacles. Yes, supposed to have a shave. He dresses smartly, and he's dressed quite smartly and formally. So he's got a tired or possibly even nervous look about him.
Like Charles.
Says, Dr. Bancroft, and he kind of looks from one to the other of you.
That is me. Good to meet you.
So he sort of he walks over and to one of the armchairs, steadies himself for a moment, as if almost as if he's catching his breath. Says, oh, you must excuse me. I fear I'm suffering from a little overwork. The conference in Brighton was far more draining than I expected. Mrs. Hughes, where's that tea?
Was it a good conference? Apart from being tiring.
Oh, well, quite run of the mill, really. Quite run of the mill. The usual long-winded presentations.
We your housekeeper. We met. We
Mrs.
called.
Hughes, where is that tea?
We called for you a couple of days ago, but obviously you were at the convention.
Yes, gentlemen.
We
Just one moment, please. Mrs. Hughes, bring the tea now, please.
we
She comes,
we
she,
we
so she,
spoke to Graham Roby.
one moment, gentlemen. One moment, gentlemen.
I don't want to.
Right, he sits down and Mrs. Hughes comes in and bustles around, serving everybody tea and giving them biscuits, and she's made some sandwiches. So, how does today find you, gentlemen? Trust. So you're Dr. Bancroft, yes?
Has Mr. Roby?
And your companions?
Oh, forget about them.
The letter did not mention your companions.
Has Mr. Roby been in touch with you at all? Because we did speak to him a couple of days ago. We told him regarding his brother Alexander.
Right, so the doctor intently watches his housekeeper as she busies around. That'll be enough. That'll be enough now. We'll go back down. He waits until she's gone, and then he right now, what was it you wanted to talk about?
I've been hired by a Dr. Highsmith.
Yes, the letter says as much. Yes.
Yeah. So we've visited the asylum, and I've assessed Alexander's condition. Dr. Highsmith kind of wants me to agree with him in the thought of Alexander being released into a different establishment for his ongoing care. I think that in normal circumstances might be good, but I do have my doubts with something that we found out while we were at the asylum. Do you've not visited him, have you, yourself, Alexander?
He shakes his head and says, before we continue this discussion, I must insist on assurances that any information I may present is kept private, except
Totally,
to be taken into account with Dr. Highsmith's decision, of course, regarding Alexander's release.
Well, I'm kind of
Doctor. I can't proceed until I have your full assurance, your
no,
word on this matter.
You misunderstand. I kind of see where your brother's coming from, and I don't at the moment.
My brother?
I know. What did I say? What I said now?
You said where his brother's coming from.
No, where Graham's coming from, Alexander's brother. I understand why he doesn't want him released. So yeah, you have my word that what is said here won't go anywhere else.
And that of your companions, I assume there is reason for their attendance.
I don't know. Not to do with me. Yeah, this is my two of my acquaintances, colleagues.
And I have your assurance that you can vouch for these gentlemen.
If you give Gerald more biscuits, yes.
Right, he sort of like a weak kind of smile to humour in you. Very well. His face becomes a little grave. Looks a little bit more tired than he already did, if that's possible. So, what is it that you want to know, Dr. Bancroft?
I need to know as much as possible about Alexander's background, his upbringing, and especially his friends. His brother wasn't very forthcoming with his friends. He wasn't very fond of any of them. We know he had a bit of a romance with a Delia Hartson. But do you know of somebody called Malcolm Quarry? Would that be one of Alexander's friends?
He looks puzzled. No.
And a gentleman by the surname of Edwards.
No, this isn't right. No, I can tell you what I know, and a little more.
Please do.
Well, as I'm sure Dr. Highsmith pointed out, I've been the family physician for since the children were young, quite young. So Alexander, he he was enrolled at Porter Peterhouse College in Cambridge, although he dropped out. I went to serve in the War Office during the conflict of 1914 to 18. But after the armistice, he rattled around in the foreign office. His father got him a job there. You see, his old his old department, his father's old department. But Alexander never settled, never settled. Always, always dreaming, always daydreaming. Never settled, and he eventually resigned. And then he spent his time getting involved in all sorts of fringe interests, astronomy, arts, myths, and the occult. Used to this woman you mentioned, this Delia. He was, I believe, he was romantically involved with her. They had similar interests, although from what I can tell, from what I understand, when the relationship became too serious for the young lady's liking, she broke off. She broke off the arrangement. But I suppose you'd want to hear about the that night in question. What um, what led for Alex to Alexander's confinement. Because as you may or may not know, I was called to the house by the domestic staff on the night of Alexander's father and sister were killed. The bodies were in the drawing room. Herbert Roby's body had been entirely drained of blood, seemingly from a deep wound um, in his upper chest. Strangely, no blood from the corpse was apparent. Georgina, Alexander's sister, had been attacked with a sharp instrument, perhaps from the look of the injuries, I would say perhaps a broad axe. But some it was incredibly strong individual from the depth of the wounds and the amount of damage done. Alexander was, as I'm sure you may or may not know, was in the house during the murders. I went upstairs to his room to see him, and he declared that it was he who had killed his father and sister. Swore blind it was him. He wouldn't explain, but he was just hysterical, completely hysterical with grief. His sister's fate appeared to have particularly affected him. But yet, despite his confession, I just could not equate the Alexander with the murders, both from what I know of the boy and from the manner of the deaths. It's most strange. There was no physical evidence that could possibly link him to the killings, such as one would expect with such a crime. Of course, Alexander was held in police custody, uh, but not for long, and for long ever since that he seemed a broken man. And with at his brother Graham's request, I agreed that he should be committed to St Agnes's soon thereafter. I did make 2 visits to the asylum early during Alexander's internment. and I have to say they left me with the opinion that Alexander is unfit to leave that institution. He was clearly still wrecked by the deaths of his father and his sister. And as far as I'm concerned, it is my belief that asylums are a place to lock away lunatics. They're there to protect the rest of us. And those that are committed there are there for good reason and cannot be cured. Alexander should stay where he is. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I'm afraid I must end our discussion, our interview there. Perhaps you have a business card, Dr. Bancroft?
Yeah, I'll give you one.
Thank you. If anything else comes to mind that warrants further communication, I shall be in touch. Well, I shall wish you a good day. And he just gets up and walks away. Calling for his. Will you see these gentlemen out now, please?
Oh, senile old fart.
And
Seems a bit harsh.
on that, I might have turned it there. Getting a bit.
So Mrs. Hughes, the housekeeper, comes in and sort of, kind of like herds you out of the
A doctor
dining
who
room.
doesn't believe in curing people.
Yeah. And herds you out of the front door. Thank you for calling, and poof, close the door, leaving you out on the cold street.
Why, thank you.
Don't see anybody watching us, do we? Watching the house.
Oh,
watching
let's say no, you do
Well,
now.
until
that was quite possibly the worst
set of rolls ever.
game I've ever had. I didn't do nothing. Might as well
was-
not fucking been here.
Was quite impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm usually quite good with the rolls, to be honest. So.
Oh, you got a spot hidden. One of us passed something.
I did, yeah. Yeah. The only thing. I nearly went insane, but hey,
Yeah,
don't worry about that.
sanity's overrated.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I get in with the all the cool kids when I go insane.
It's a plan. We're going to get you shipped to that asylum. Inside man.
Go
Inside
undercover.
man.
Yeah.
I'm going undercover, yeah.
You'll solve it.
That's it, yeah. Leave it to me.
Make sure you get put in next to that Harrywell and everything.
Put him
will
with
be
him.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll be
put him
fine.
with him.
Yeah, cellmate.
Cellmate. Can have
Yeah,
your own straight
absolutely.
jacket.
Cuddling up together. Well,
Right. So next
yeah.
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday then.
It's been emotional.
Or painful. Yeah. Well, there we go.
Cheers.
So,
Cool.
Thank
well,
you for that.
Thanks for that, Phil.
Possibly
Yeah, cheers,
more
Phil.
questions and answers, but anyway.
Maybe
Definitely.
so. Yeah.
Thought we were going to get more out of him. That was total.
Yeah. Nothing.
Oh, God.
Oh well.
Right.
Until next time.
Right.
Next time.
Right. Cheers for that, guys.
Cool. Cheers,
Catch you
fellas.
later.
Thank
See
you.
you
See
in
you
a bit.
later. See you later. Bye.
All right, I'll catch you later.